here at least.
Oh, yeah, but it's still like.
I just clicked on it. We're not quite live yet, but then again,
No, there's like a couple second delay on the live.
Here we
try
are.
re-opening it because I can't find it.
Okay, guys. Welcome to the live here. I think we got her going this time. I struggle with opening the app every single time I set this up. But wanted to give you some updates as to everything that's going on in the truck. It's been actually an incredibly busy 2 days since our last live update. So we might as well give you an update as what's going on.
Well, we're gonna wait for some more people to join. There's 2 people. Actually, like,
No, there's a lot of people, man. I don't know what you're
that's
saying.
me, you, and Ray.
Yeah, there's 3.
Oh
of us
yeah,
in
there's
there.
these guys were looking at the comments on the
Hey,
phone.
Rusty from Florida.
Oh, here we go.
Buddy.
What do you mean? There's like 4 people
Yeah,
in
you
this
did.
live and 3 are in the building. That's plenty.
Okay, people are joining. Now.
Howdy from Mississippi. Yeah.
No, so yeah, time to start asking those questions that you want to know.
Shrek's here.
Hey, Shrek. Oh man, he's always in the live. That's awesome. So update: the goddamn headache rack was sent off to the wrong. So
Wait, I don't know. You gotta wait for more people to join.
no, we can always go into it again.
Oh, yeah, we'll
but
definitely
I did it because remember it's gonna get posted on there. People are gonna watch the video.
Okay,
we'll
start
give them that
off.
update on what's going on. And so the headache rack is the big one. It got finished, and if you remember from any of the videos, Theron flew out to Ontario like a week and a half ago to go and have a look at this headache rack. It's our entire power distribution unit. It does all the controls for the truck. It amalgamates all of our high voltage lines, takes the high voltage lines from the generator, the batteries, and the electric motors, ties them all together in a big bus bar inside the headache rack with all. So it is the brains, the entire thing of the truck with all the power inverters, all the computer controls, everything is in this headache rack. Flowdraulic worked tons of overtime to get this headache rack done. And they hired a trucking company and they hired Expedited Freight Trucking. They're like, okay, we pulled tons of overtime to get this done. We want a team driver to load this thing and hot shot delivery it straight through all the way to Merritt. Load it in our yard. Don't stop until you hit Merritt. Get it to these guys' hands. That was a week and a half ago. And what happened was the company they hired decided that they were going to give it to another trucking company. So we paid one trucking company for Expedited. That trucking company said, nah, screw Edison Motors. We're going to give it to the cheapest, lowest bidder possible. Oh, it doesn't matter that you're paying 10 grand for Expedited. We're going to hire a trucking company for $2,000 instead of the 10 grand. We'll pocket the difference, put that in our pocket, and you can go do one. And so now this company that was hiring the headache rack broke down. The truck sat for 5 days, broken down somewhere in the middle of Saskatchewan. They never said a damn thing. They never let us know. If we knew that this was broken down, we would have sent a truck. Hell, I would have driven my own truck out there, pinned onto his trailer and gone. But now it just sat there. So we needed this headache rack in order to make our show. We have Flowdraulic and we have 4 or 5 industrial electricians coming to help us professionally hook this system up. But we need to get that headache rack onto this truck or we're not going to have it ready. And if we don't have it ready, it means they can't hook it up. If they can't hook it up, we can't get it to the show. So we are incredibly stressed. And it's so frustrating when you pay a premium in trucking to get something expedited and then it is just completely delayed. Like,
Not only did they break down, they added a bunch of stops. They were doing other pickups, and you need long forks to pick that up properly. And they
oh yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's a headache rack. It's 8 feet tall, 75 inches, or 82 inches to be exact, with the risers. And it's laying on its side, and it's just an aluminum box. So if you slide a set of short forks, you're only going to get halfway into it. Then when you go to pick up, you're going to bend the shit out of the aluminum, just completely F it up, and then you're hooped. Like, if they damage it, and that's why we said, load it in Flowdraulic's office, drive it straight across without stopping, and let us handle the unloading. But now it's LTL freight, and they've been dropping it off at this place, unload, reload. Like, I finally got a hold of the truck driver today. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, okay, well, I'm just gotta go to Edmonton, and then I'm gonna unload and reload in Edmonton, and then we're like, and then we'll put it in there. I'm like, no, you're not allowed to touch the headache rack. I don't want anybody touching our power distribution unit with short forks. And chances of them and a guy in a warehouse actually caring is probably not very high, because he won't know what he's actually handling because it's all wrapped up in plastic. He'll just grab it, he'll mess it up, he don't give a crap. And then we're gonna get a damaged thing, and then our truck will absolutely not make the show. So I lost my shit today on him. I'm like, no, you are not unloading and reloading. Whatever damage you've already done is enough. And I called the company that brokered the load, and I spent 3 hours yelling at these motherfuckers on the phone to just say, like, hey, I paid a shit ton, or Flowdraulic paid a shit ton to get this expedited. By the time you get to Edmonton, you are not reloading anything. That truck is getting here. The only thing in that truck better be our headache rack, because we don't have forklifts, we don't have a loading bay. I'm not dealing with anybody else's freight, and I'm not dealing with our headache rack being broken. We paid for premium, so you guys figure it out. Get that headache rack to us. And after 4 hours of yelling, and I mean, like, I was pretty mad at that point. And after those 4 or 5 hours, they finally agreed that the original trucking company is just going to pay for have the thing hot-shotted from Edmonton directly to us. I got live tracking on the truck, so we're following the progress of the truck in real time. And where is it now?
It was getting a couple hours from Edmonton. Right?
A couple hours from Edmonton. I think it's out of Lloydminster or something.
We sat down with the GoPro today, because my camera's down, and Chase goes a little bit more in depth into this, and we show you the trucking company, their website. We go through the reviews online, and then we show the guys who are holding it now. And you guys are welcome to, when you see that video, go on there and leave reviews yourself.
Yeah, I would be more than happy if you guys were to go leave some reviews on these trucking companies, to know that this trucking company will just expedite the load and then give it out to anybody else. Because I want more people to know about this. The fact that they will just send a freight out to a fly-by-night company is absolutely ridiculous.
After taking 10 grand, they take 10 grand for the load to be hot-shotted here.
Exactly 10 grand, but
a
it was
large
close
amount of
there.
money for the load to be hot-shotted out here. Then they sell it for a quarter of the price to someone else to do it, and then they just include a whole bunch of stops. So they just pocketed the extra money and said, here, go for it. Chase was communicating with them saying, I need to know, I want to talk to the driver. We need a heads up when that load gets here, because I had to come out here. I will be coming out here and filming when it gets here to put a video for you guys. So we need to know when it got here. And then day by day, the communication just broke down, and then it sat for 5 days without them telling us. I've come out here 3 times now to film this. We keep telling the decision makers on our YouTube members that we're making the video of the headache rack getting here tomorrow, and it's just not happening.
Well,
So maybe
amazing.
tomorrow, maybe Monday. I
don't know, maybe, yeah, he's like, well, maybe I can make it tomorrow. My logbook, I might need to reset or whatever. I'm like, why do you need to reset if you were broken down for 4 days? That doesn't even make sense.
Right?
If you were broke down for 4 days, you should have more than enough hours.
You just had 4 days off.
Like, okay, like maybe Monday. I'm like, no, you get it here now. Like, I'll get a tow truck to pin onto your trailer, and you can come grab your trailer once you've reset your hours. But we're not going to make our truck show. And the stressful part is that we have investors, we have customers, we have people that say that they want to buy a truck. They want to come to the show, they want to see the truck, they're willing to buy a truck if it performs, if it does the things, if they're impressed. And we know our truck's impressive. We know that this will impress them, but if we don't get that big control unit mounted, installed with wires ran, and time to diagnose it, and a lot of people have been saying, well, you just got to install it, it's just a few bolts and run the wires. You've got to diagnose the issues with this thing. Like, we've got to hook it up, we've got to make sure that it's communicating properly, we've got to make sure that the safety systems work. All of these will take multiple days with technicians because it's the first time it's been hooked up. It's not just a matter of a headache rack. Like, it's not just a headache rack, we put 4 bolts in it, it hangs some tire chains. It's the entire brains of this truck. I'm stressed, if you can't tell.
Okay, should I go into some super chats?
Yeah, why don't you read some comments?
Some of
Sorry.
these chats are
Okay, we
funny.
got Joseph here. He says, you guys in need of some 3D printers to help continue R&D work? I work at a 3D printer manufacturer and would like to help you guys. Huge fans here.
Oh, I'd love the 3D
Get in
printer.
contact with us, please. That'd be fantastic.
Ray wants to do. We got a Petco. We'll put him in contact with
Petco
Petco.
has a 3D
Petco loves it. He's
Yeah.
a nerd about 3D
I
printing.
want to learn how to do that stuff, so absolutely.
Well,
Come
that sounds
over.
hilarious.
We need to welcome Henry Zacharias into the YouTube Insiders.
Oh, hey Henry,
Hey,
welcome
Henry,
to the
thanks, bud.
Insiders.
You get a discount code. Look through the community post. You'll see your discount code there for the merch store. You're gonna see all the videos that post before the day before they come out. You can tell me where I screwed up so I can fix it and not embarrass myself publicly. In fact, Chase's trip to the Alberta Truck Show just got posted today for the Insiders.
Mainly the key insiders is we reach out a lot to the community for things that like what's going on, what decisions do we need to make as. So there's a group chat where people stay updated, and if there's things going on that we're like, hey, we need some external advice, we go to those key insiders.
That's
to
decision
ask that.
makers.
Decision makers?
Yeah, decision makers are in the
Decision
group
makers,
chat.
insiders
The
are
Insiders
there.
is one tier down. There is a group chat. In fact, we just got a message right here with someone who's in this chat right now in the decision makers to our Edison Motors decision maker group chat. But anyway, yeah. So the next one here, welcome aboard. The next one here is Gamer Boy.
Oh, yeah.
You want to take that one, Ray?
Yeah. YouTube recommended this 3 times out of the first 10 videos, so I can't miss this. Thanks, Gamer Boy. Welcome.
Thanks, Gamer.
We're on the algorithm now.
We got some other good
Text
questions?
DOT. I never know if it's text
I think
dot.
it's Texas DOT.
Texas DOT, who is an Edison decision makers. We've been talking today already. He said, and that's who text us actually in the group chat. It's sitting at Royal Coating and Supply right now. Oh, see, that's another thing. So TextDot, he's in the decision makers, and he has the tracking information of this thing.
Yeah, so we sent in the key decision makers, we sent the tracking. So where is it?
TextDot says, Text DOT says it's sitting at Royal Coating and Supply right now.
Thanks, buddy,
So
for the
he-
update.
he's
Royal
track-
Coating and Supply.
He's tracking the
Okay.
headache rack for us.
Perfect. Hey, if it leaves Royal Coating and you see it move, please let us know in the group chat, because as soon as it leaves Edmonton, I want to know. And I hope to God that he's getting
get the next
unloaded
one,
at
yeah.
Royal Coating and Supply.
All right, Will Fast. Lads, it's about time for a round of sets, because this is the right proper dumpster fire. Thank you, buddy.
That's right.
It
You know
is.
what?
It is.
We're one step ahead
Yeah,
of you there.
man, we're one step ahead of you. She's already empty.
Which we have to thank, because all the beers we're drinking today are sponsored by you guys through Beers Through the Boys through our merch store.
you.
I went out and dropped $160 at the beer store today and stocked the fridge up, so it's good, and that's all on your guys' dime. And now we have an option on that. If you do Coffee for the Crew, Beers for the Boys, support our YouTube, you can leave a message. So at the end of our videos, except this next one I'm making right now, we haven't done it. You can leave a message, and we're gonna read out what you have to say. And so that's cool.
We
That
really
was cool.
appreciate it, honestly. Like, today's like today when you just get kicked hard in the balls, man.
Oh, this is just a kick around kind
It's
of
nice.
day.
We do feel the love, man.
It's
It's
It
definitely
goes a long
appreciated.
way. That little support around a beer at the end of the day, it goes a long way to help us out mentally. Because I'll be honest, I don't think our mental health is doing good on this.
Yeah, it's not.
Chase had to go to a therapist yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, okay, I'm so stressed that I'm like, okay, it's time to go talk to a therapist about my stress levels. Because all of a sudden it's starting to like, wow, we are approaching that deadline and we are behind schedule and we are pulling overtime and we are just, the guys are, all of us are feeling the burnout, and you start thinking and you're like, yeah, I'm going crazy. And this is honestly, beyond that, it's something that I've been working with, is that you guys got to remember, 2 years ago, I was a log truck driver. Darren was a logger. Ray was working, doing Ray things. I don't know what Dan was doing. He was probably still in high
I do
school.
my things. I'm a tradesman.
I was
He's a
I was
tradesman.
working the garbage
No,
GM.
yeah, he was a mechanic. I'm just bugging Dan for being young. But a couple of years ago, I was just a truck driver. And now all of a sudden, I'm trying to figure out how to organize all these things. Like, I'm talking to government officials, we're talking to politicians, legislators, we're talking to suppliers, and dealing with the Edison Motors customers. We're dealing with people that support Edison Motors like you guys. But there's a lot of things going on, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose my mind mentally. Because remember what happened with like Coney 2012?
Yeah.
That thing blew up. And like Edison Motors is really growing very fast from just being a truck driver to now the CEO of this company.
That guy went
They were,
insane.
and I like to joke that Edison Motors is the world's largest small business because we're incredibly tiny. but our reach is really, really large. And dealing with all that mentally, with deadlines and everything, I don't want to make sure I'm not like Coney 2012, because if you remember that guy, he blew up. And he ended up naked in a Denny's jerking off.
Something like that. Yeah.
What?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
Oh, dude.
I'm reading.
I never.
no, I'm
naked
reading
when
the comments.
jerking off
I'm
at
sorry.
Denny's.
Okay.
At least
No, you stay clothed when you're naked.
Right, when you're
No,
jerking
but
off
the
at
old
Denny's.
guy is old, choking the Cobra chicken there. And,
Sorry.
like, yeah, no, he went big and like, Coney 2012, stop Coney. And he's like, yes, we're stopping Coney. We're doing a thing. We're stirring the pot. He ended up getting so stressed out that he stripped naked at a freaking fast food place and just starts stroking the old salami in the middle of the table, yelling, stop Coney. And it's like, okay, I want to make sure that I don't Coney 2012 this, so I should probably talk to someone about stress
I will personally
levels.
ensure Monday to Thursday he will not Coney us.
Half of the people in this
I don't
live
wanna
are
see
in
it.
therapy right now, Jason. There's not much that can help
Okay.
us.
We do have the next super chat.
We're
Dan,
gonna say,
one
like,
last-
honestly, Edison Motors probably needs a group therapist with everything we've had to do.
Yeah.
But you guys realize how insane this is. Like, and I kind of had this realization here the other day. So, within 1 year, our truck show is 1 year to the date that we displayed our proof of concept, Carl. So in 1 year, we had to raise the money to build this truck. We had to test Carl out, figure out our what worked, what didn't work, re-engineer the differences, figure out what we need to upgrade, order the upgraded parts, order all the other parts, design the truck, make sure we're meeting FMCSS regulations on a new build, design the new build the cab, build the new hybrid electric system, have all the parts arrived and completed within 12 months. To give you a concept, Nikola spent 6 years and could not get the truck, had to roll the truck down a hill. Tesla spent 5 to 6 years in development. So all of a sudden, a company's worth multiple billions of dollars. Companies that spent billions of dollars in engineering had 5 years to do this. We've had 1 year to do it with $1 million. I mean, $1 million sounds a lot till you realize that the competitors all spent over $1 billion each. Sometimes upwards of $4 billion to do it. And they had 5 years and we're trying to get it done in a year. So the stress level we've been under on that might have been because I set a tight deadline, but also, like we said, we're a firm believer that a group of mechanics working really, really hard, 4 or 5 good mechanics working really hard is a lot better than 40 to 50 engineers having a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
that's our only saving
So
grace.
we have the next super chat from
Okay.
We have a
blue-collar
few,
Jose. You want to take blue collar Jose?
I'll take blue collar Jose. So when it comes to truck software updates, will they be free or paid?
Free. They'll just be free. I've said this so many times. If you are not going to pay for software updates, there is no subscription. You buy this truck, you get the truck. That means you get everything in it. You get your repair files, your fault codes, your code readers, your software updates. Once you buy the truck, it's right to repair. You have the right to repair, update, and fix anything on the truck. We're only selling you the truck once. We make our money off the sale of the truck. After that, you guys are going to know how to
How it
service
should
it.
be, yeah.
I mean, we'll do warranty, obviously, but you guys will be able to service it, fix it, do everything. The whole goal is, yes, we'll support it, we'll maintain it, we'll make sure we work on it, but we won't have to work on it. That's the difference.
We'll just get data from them. We'll
Yeah.
You can bring our truck,
wanna
you
get
can bring the truck back to us to work on, but you
okay.
don't have to bring the truck to us to work on.
Yeah, it's good too if the people do that because we can get like myself being the mechanics of this is
Speak loudly.
sorry.
You're too quiet, man.
Is we can also if you bring in the truck to us, people like me who are like doing the general maintenance on them is we can look at the oil change intervals, we can read out the manuals, we can see what parts are getting damaged, what parts are being okay, we really overbuilt this, we can save 30 pounds of weight from the steel. Really, if we start working on these trucks, people want to bring them in to get worked on, we can learn more about the trucks as well and build you a better truck in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why the first trucks are coming with like an extended 5-year, like, not even warranty, like 5 years of partnership. So the way we're doing it is that we have build spots for 6 trucks next year. We've got 4 partnerships lined up where they're buying a truck. The deal we're making is they're buying a truck, they're getting some equity in Edison Motors, And basically, they're investing in the company, they get the shares of the investment, and they also get a truck with that investment. So they can take the truck, use the truck, give us feedback on the truck, and help us develop a better truck as partners. That way, we don't need to rely on venture capital funding. We're taking trucking companies from the industry, taking their investments, sending them a truck, and having work with them together to build a better truck. Because I would much rather have a trucking company that does oil field work buying a truck from us and developing that truck. So we've got enough space that we figure we can build 6 trucks next year, and we've got 4 of those spots slotted, and we've got a couple more guys coming to the show in Vancouver to have a look at the truck and decide if they want to enter into that partnership deal, which is why getting this truck to Vancouver is so crucial to us, because if we can do the 6 trucks, we can take some advantage of economies of scale, and we can order full truck loads of parts, which will take our cost of manufacturing down by almost a factor of half. Like, it is insane. If we can build the difference between building 6 trucks, we'll get all the parts prefabbed and pre-engineered, built, fabricated locally, and then the parts just arrive and we just bolt the parts on. Right now, we do all the fabrication work in this shop. We're gonna AutoCAD that, get it professionally drafted out, have local shops build us those parts, send us the parts to it, and we're just gonna rattle those parts onto the frame rail, done. So that is gonna massively speed up manufacturing time, bring costs way down, and actually let us compete at that custom bespoke model where a truck isn't $1 million anymore.
Okay.
Virtual at the Wharf. Here's a blue and black to think about retrofitting a boat with a diesel electric solar.
Oh, a boat would be cool.
Like we've kind of talked about boats before. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
But like, imagine an electric jet boat.
That'd be sick.
That'd be amazing.
Boat?
A river boat.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
and plus a boat
Rusty
sitting out in the water all the time. You take advantage of solar.
Rusty Alcorn. I'm running a T300 like your service truck. I am OTR. I want to convert mine over. I've got a fairly fresh 8.3 Cummins in it. Yeah, I'd like to convert a little single axle too, like that little T300. Can you see it in the background? It's right behind the backhoe arm. I don't know if the camera reaches it, but yeah. Is it?
Is it?
No,
What's
it's
it?
right behind the bucket. You can't see the T300. Yeah, no, we're doing a little service truck project with that T300, and if we can do it to that T300, I'm sure we can do yours there, Rusty.
Just a clarification on something. Frame rate 24 was asking oil change. I thought this was electric. So your axles, which I'm sitting above, they have 22 liters of oil. Like these, your axles have to have
Differential
oil. Your
oil.
differentials, your planetaries, all that stuff has axle. Your engine, or your generator, sorry, that has oil in it. The motor will have oil in it, and the coolant and all that swaps too. So if we can take that data of how these axles actually perform and how they deteriorate over time, we need to do those oil changes on them. It's not just
Can you guys?
Oh, go ahead.
Can you guys hear Dan? Okay. Does he need to talk louder? I feel like he has to talk louder.
You want to get Chris's?
Can you guys hear him? Okay. If not, I'll get off his back. Chris Lehman. I'm an HVAC technician from Missouri. I have no idea about trucks at all, but you guys make some good content. I wish everyone thanks for mass consumption. Through the way to do it.
I wish
Thought the way to
everyone
do
who thanks for mass consumption thought the way you.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, everyone. Yeah,
I can't read very well.
I'm
on
a
some
big
words.
believer in the right to repair, and I feel so strongly.
You're good.
So
You're good.
to give you a little bit of background of some of my beliefs, and one of the main reasons why I'm so against planned obsolescence is if you guys have ever heard of Star Trek economics. Now, it sounds ridiculous, but Star Trek economics, look into it. It's super interesting. It's the economics that exist in the Star Trek universe, where basically, if you were to take humanity and automatic production, like they have replicators. Everything is so automated that you just push a button and a machine makes exactly what you need. Well, what happens in that scenario where everything's energy? And then you start looking at the cost of energy is going down and our autonomy rate is going up. So why the hell?
Yeah, everyone's commenting about the dog.
Man, that was a loud fart. That dog farted so loud there. I don't know if you picked it up on that. Oh yeah.
This is Jax. Jax. Sorry to break that, but
Don't put the pecker in the frame.
Jax is highly allergic to dust. So he's on steroids every day, and he got really fat. He used to just be totally ripped, like jacked. We call him the muscle hamster, but that's Jax. But sorry to break that up.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
Alright,
I was on
so-
some kind of
so-
rant.
Blue collar Jose, when it comes to replacement parts, will Edison Motors provide part numbers from multiple companies or just the OEM supplier?
Yeah, no, we provide all. When you buy the truck, it's like I did a little video on Pacific, and we got the build sheet. When you buy an Edison truck, you're gonna get the build sheet for your truck with all the part numbers used, what that supplier was, and any cross-reference parts numbers if we have them available. So if we say like, hey, this part we got from CBS, here's the part number for CBS. Like, hey, I need a slack adjuster, I need a brake pot. Okay, well that's a Type 3030 brake pot. Here's the part number. Here's the part store where we source it from. Have at it. So that's what we're doing. When you buy a truck, you're going to get your part book with it. Now, I don't know if it's a physical actual book. You might get the file. You'll get the part file with
At least
it.
a PDF, yeah.
Yeah, have you ever looked in like those dealership computers that got everything laid out and you break out the files? You're going to get that with the truck, so you don't need the part computer, which is the least I can do because some of those part guys, we have absolutely taxed them a lot in the way of like, hey, I need this, and then they got to go figure out what part we need because we're building from scratch.
Yeah.
So I figured with how much of a pain in the ass we have been to our parts people at many different dealerships and part stores, the very least we can do is give our customers part numbers so that they don't have to do that in the future. And also because we realized we had to do this because no part store is going to have Edison parts and Edison part numbers. Like you won't, CBS parts won't be able to enter a VIN number for an Edison truck and bring up the parts list. So we're going to have to send them parts lists and those part numbers over to our customers so that they can tell the parts guy what part number they need in case it's not on their computer at the early stages.
You do your thing, then I got to reply to a comment from someone.
Okay.
Alright, okay, well, let's just do a cable box. You saw the dog. They're around. They hang out.
We got dogs in the truck.
Grand Roof Inc. Somehow I stumbled across your channel a few months ago. You guys are awesome. I
Oh,
wanted
thanks,
to
man.
send you some love for another round of beer. You definitely need to watch The Stress. It got me sick before. You're kicking its ass.
Oh, thanks.
So frame rate 24 again.
Yeah.
He's saying the new BC ferries are diesel electric sorta. They've had nothing but issues with it and extreme corrosion. Hopefully our trucks don't end up in the ocean, so we shouldn't have that saltwater problem.
Yeah, if this
I mean,
truck
road
ends up,
salt, though.
Yeah.
Road salt's something we'd had designed.
Yeah.
I don't know why they are. Those BC ferries are just, I feel like, I swear to God, there's something, every time BC Ferries buys a new ferry, they have nothing but issues. And like, remember the fast one where they spent like $1 billion on new boats and had to throw them out 6 months later?
Yeah.
they were $78 million each, and the three of them sold for $18 million or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. They
It's
spent
penny on the
hundreds of
dollars.
millions. It was
They
like
would've-
700
They would have
million.
got more money if they scrapped the boat than if.
Yeah, it's
a travesty.
whatever it is. I don't know what BC Ferries is doing with their boats, but diesel electric boats have been a thing for a very, very long time. Because it's super hard to have a transmission when you have a 2-story tall diesel on that. Now you can do direct drive, but then your propeller only runs at the speed. So diesel electric has been a thing in boats for, I think, 100 years. Diesel electric has been a thing, like Porsche made a 60-ton diesel electric vehicle in 1941. I don't know if a lot of people did that. 60, 70-ton diesel electric Porsche in 1941. Go look it up. It's the Porsche
Tiger.
P1. It was one of the tanks. Believe it or not, they don't advertise it a lot. I don't know why they don't. There's a great picture of a short German man standing in front of a Porsche's diesel electric.
It's like Mercedes and their 6 wheels. It's like they
Yeah, they don't advertise that one a lot.
they say it's their first generation, but like 1939 they kind of
Yeah.
overdid it. Like
He
the
always
trick-
made a right-hand
But
turn.
no, it's that you look at it
Right.
is that Thomas Edison himself made a diesel electric truck. Actually, I believe we're 100 years to the date right now of Thomas Edison's electric truck, and that's kind of a cool fact. Is that it's interesting that Nikola's called Nikola Motors. Like Nikola, Nikola, the man did some incredible things with electricity. He really, really did. I love Nikola Tesla. But Nikola Tesla didn't do cars. Thomas Edison was a huge electric car nerd. He worked with Henry Ford and was adamant that electric cars and electric trucks especially needed to be the future. Due to the torque, the power, everything about it, Thomas Edison was a firm believer in electric cars. Nikola Tesla did a lot of other really cool things with wireless electricity, AC/DC. Like Nikola Tesla was incredibly brilliant, but Thomas Edison was the car and the truck guy. And I just find it ironic that it's called Tesla Motors.
We had a comment from BW, who is a YouTube member, and it's a good comment. He said, and you probably know, what is Pacific building now these days? There used to be a 40-ton picker with Pacific Truck in Grand Prairie, Alberta for years. So what is the story about how they're doing? How are they still...
Okay, Pacific Truck. So the background of Pacific Truck. Fun fact, they built their very first truck outside on a dock out in Vancouver. Literally, they built it outside on a dock. Since then, they built the toughest trucks possible. Then, for some reason, International bought them out, basically scrapped the whole company like 4 years later, sold it off to a company in Thailand that then shut it down, and then a company in BC bought the rights to Pacific. And even though they don't make trucks anymore, what they do is they make all the parts for Pacific. So they mainly do a lot of drive lines, they do Clark planetary rear ends, they make suspension components, and they have all the files to remake all your body parts. So they have stayed in business since the 90s, just servicing and working on the Pacifics that were built. Talking with Pacific, they're really proud that at 50% of all the trucks that they ever made, 50% of every Pacific ever made is still on the road today. And that they maintain a shop to do that.
It's a testament to their trucks. The Gaming Man. Hello, I want to buy you guys some more coffee. I'm Dylan. I recently donated to your store and forgot to add my location. It is, you are really mean, New Brunswick.
Everyone
I'm
should
not
drink
even going to try.
Everyone should try it. Everyone should try
I'm not even going to attempt that.
Oh my
Coochie
god.
Burgak. Coochie Burgak.
Coochie Burgak. Yeah,
You
Coochie
could
Burgak.
at least have put
No, you guys-
how to pronounce it next to that, man.
Remember?
Coochie. I don't know. I like that he's from Coochieburg.
Remember?
I'm just gonna call it Coochieburg. So, all right, thanks the Gaming Man from Coochieburg, New Brunswick.
Remember you read Dylan and there was no location, and I thought I screwed
Oh,
it up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you got a shout out in the next video here.
Yeah, it came out this morning's video. Actually, we do say thank you. Did it come out this morning? Yeah, it
Okay.
did. And I had a question mark where you were from.
Nate asked a good question. How do you guys plan to estimate range, miles or hours? We are going to estimate our range in hours because we're targeting the heavy vocational market. I think it would be a lot better to say that you get 2 hours of driving or 3 hours of driving off batteries than it would be to say, oh, well, you get 200 miles, 300 kilometers. Because a logging truck working up in the bush is going to get way different than kilometers than a truck loaded to 80,000 pounds on the highway. It would just be better to say like, oh, you're doing city driving, just so you know, you got about 2 hours off your batteries before you have to fire up your generator. Or like, if I say 300 miles and then you go stick it in the city and you're like, I'm only getting 100 miles. You're like, well, yeah, you're fully loaded with a Super B just driving around the city. You're not going to get the same mileage as a single axle truck running on the highway with 20,000 pounds. So we're just going to say how many hours you're getting. And I think that's a fair way to do it. Let me know.
Oh, and Grand Roofing got in here. Remember Grand Roofing? We didn't know his
come
address.
on.
He did one earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
did one earlier.
Oh.
Roofing's a great.
No, he did one earlier, but we did. We read his name at the end of the video, and we didn't have his location. And I thought I screwed that up too. Everyone's coming to my defense
in
here.
Oh, Grand Roofing is in Kokomo.
Kokomo and-
Kokomo.
Someone said
That's
they're.
Indianapolis.
Where did that
In
go?
Illinois?
No, that's I.
Osterberg?
Okay, Devin asked, would you be able to spec a Michigan gravel train? Yes, we can spec a Michigan gravel train because Michigan gravel trains are loaded to what the average Canadian truck weight is. So if it can do a logging truck in BC, it can do a Michigan gravel train, and then it's just a matter of putting an electric hydraulic pump on there.
Some guys moving.
What video? Grant wants to know what when we read out his name. What video did we read?
Grand Roofing? Oh, it's probably
I don't know, it's like
at
three-
least
three, four videos back.
Videos back there. Let's go to that.
Indiana.
Just watch every
Illinois.
single
Okay,
video
yeah,
thoroughly
my
to
bad.
the end.
I got
Leave
it.
a like and a subscribe and all that,
Oh,
and then it'll be at the end of one of those videos.
Raphael said, did we go with Carl to the truck show? Yes, the video from the truck show will be coming up soon. The early members, insiders can already see it. It's up there. We're just waiting for what they think of the video to make any kind of changes or anything. It's a longer video. That's my bad. I filmed a lot of footage. I feel bad for Theron. I'm sure he had to work for like 24 hours. And a lot of the footage, because he was off doing the e-axles with flow hydraulic, so he had all the fancy gear. So I just filmed like 20 hours of footage with my cell phone walking around.
Yeah, it was 750 gigs. It crashed my computer trying to do this. I got it down from hours and hours to half an hour.
Turns out I filmed too much.
Well, I guess it's a good problem to have, unless you have to edit it. And so it's still a really long video, guys. But it's if you like trucks and stuff, like you'll probably enjoy it.
Bob Farn. Hey guys, I'm down in Western Washington. Do you guys make an E-front axle for a 4x4 or 6x6? Yes, we have an electric front axle option. Video on it probably after this truck is done, and we actually, in one of the next 6 trucks, it's going to be ordered for one of the next 6 trucks. Fingers crossed, as long as that customer is one of the 2 out of the 6. We got 4 locked in, but I think one of those 2 is going to be the front axle. So fingers crossed, we will have that electric front axle. Turns out it's actually super easy to do an electric front axle.
I've seen this
I'm
comment
confused.
twice.
Headache rack is
The
causing a headache.
elevator?
No, the fuck. That headache rack has caused a headache.
Oh,
The headache
yeah.
rack has caused a headache.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple comments on if we're going to build an electric elevator.
I don't
Like,
know. I'm
I
not
don't-
sure about that one.
No.
Most elevators are electric.
There are, yeah.
It's
It's
true.
an electric motor.
I
at the
don't
top
think
of
we
which
plan
you
on
can
building
count.
elevators. No.
Oh, Mark. Hey, Mark. Thanks, bud.
Who's Mark?
Mark, the guy we went up to Red Dog Mine to go visit.
Oh,
the guy that said,
oh, he's here.
Yeah, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Oh,
We're-
Mark.
We talked about you
Jerry.
today.
Yeah, actually, Jerry from Masabi Radiators came by yesterday. So we're talking with Masabi Radiators right now. Talking with their engineering department, and we're gonna get a Masabi radiator built for the Edison truck. The back half is gonna have all the EV cooling. The front half is gonna have all the diesel cooling. So rather than having 2 separate rads, it's just gonna be one Masabi rad with the plugs on each side. So thanks a lot, Mark, for sending Jerry down here. We learned a lot from him, and it's gonna make a better truck. Mark, for those of you guys that don't know, Mark has been so incredibly helpful for us building one of the best trucks, toughest trucks. He showed us what real work trucks can do. We learned a lot for how they were spec'd, and we're using some of those design applications to improve from here to the production truck. So thanks, Mark. Yeah.
Mark, your ears must have been burning because we were just talking about
We're
you
literally
for like 10
just-
minutes
yeah.
an hour ago. And you're going to be mentioned in the next video that comes out.
With Masabi. Hope that's okay.
Yes.
There's been a few comments going around.
Burnaby Alex, who is a member here, he had a kind of a funny comment. And I'm a huge Monty Python fan.
I was gonna say that.
Well, you
That's
can take
my
it, man.
theme
Oh,
song.
Yeah.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I work all day.
So he
I'm not
says,
gonna butcher it
will you
from there on
convert
out."
Robert, how do you say it? From Fully Charged? Robert Louis, Lewin?
Lewin, yeah.
That's him right there.
Lewin.
So you're going to convert him to be a
Lumberjack. Oh, that would be funny.
That
Yeah.
would be funny.
Well, it's quite simple. If his house has a potential ocean view,
He was
You're
on
an
Red
arborist,
Red
show him
He's
a little
still
bit of
Red
pictures.
Dwarf too. Like
Someone's asking
I
if
love
I
Red
Carl
Dwarf.
to the
I think it's
full
probably
charge.
before you.
I've worked
guys.
on a dual steer axle 4800 SP. I hope not. Fun fact: we very early stages. Oh, it's on my phone. I can't show it. But early stages of the work on a twin steer. So we talked with a company that makes a twin steer front axle setup to do a big sow bed truck rig up, full set of planetaries, twin steer. So yes, twin steer is also in the works. Turns out when you're building custom trucks, all you got to do is add an extra steer axle. It's not as bad as I actually. Turns out doing a twin steer is not actually that hard for the engineering. I say that now, but
If any of you guys are watching this and texting Chase, because I see his messages are going crazy on his phone. He can't see them. His phones, we're using it up there. But
yeah.
So-
my phone doesn't end with text messages. People know if they text me that they get the message back when I see it. And a lot of the times my phone is just I need to set it aside, or the phone would be a 24/7. Like, a lot of my job right now is. Sorry,
I can see that's Mark. Beer for the boys is on me. Thank you,
Oh,
Mark.
thanks, Mark. Thanks for the
Mark.
beers.
Hey, Jay.
No, a lot of my job right now has morphed from turning wrenches to project coordination, for lack of a better word. As there's been over 110 people that have worked to help engineer, design, and build this truck. A lot of my job is just coordinating this team with this team, and they make sure this graphics designer, this 3D modeler works with the parts person and connect them with this person that then talks to the mechanical engineer. Like, most of my job now has been on a cell phone. So if I don't just set my cell phone aside when it's time to work, I would never actually get any work done, but it's been an interesting challenge.
When he officially becomes a desk jockey, I am buying him the whip for his chair. Don't you guys worry about that. I got that covered.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. BW said that there's a Pacific and an upcoming auction. What auction?
Whoa. Wait, you never really said what they transferred over to making now. Because there's...
Someone was saying they're
there's-
not trucks anymore. They're battery.
No,
Rams
they
with
still have
wheels.
another... Don't they make like a
Suspension.
parts store or something like that? They make suspension parts?
They make suspension parts.
Yeah.
And they make
Did you talk about that?
parts. Yeah. We
You did?
talked about
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah.
Chase, you're the Oppenheimer of Edison, apparently.
Oh, fair enough. I gotta watch that movie still.
I want to.
Love what you guys are doing. Have you thought about releasing any of your documentation under open source license? Yes, we've said that several times. We will release our documentation under open source licensing.
It's kind of our thing.
That's
We're
kind of
not
our big
green
thing.
and yellow. Not saying a name, but we're not green and yellow.
We definitely aren't
What do you mean?
Bond beer.
I mean, to be fair, that was Pacific's colors.
Was
All their
that?
trucks were green and yellow back in the
Really?
day. Yeah.
I did not know that. I meant John.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but yeah.
I used to have the shirt where it was
Yeah,
John
old blue.
pounding the deer.
No, sorry, I'll give you your phone back.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Here you go.
Quickly, someone's asking if we're bringing Carl to the truck show.
Yes, Carl will be coming to the... No matter what, Carl will be at the Fully Charged show. The big question will be, is this one going to be there? So if you come to the Fully Charged show, you'll still see all the Edison staff, but we're on such a tight deadline to see that. Well, Carl will be there. Carl runs.
Yeah, I
Carl
know,
drives.
but I want this truck
Okay,
there.
here's the thing.
that's good
I
luck.
No.
personally think that no matter what, it doesn't matter how complete this truck is, it should go there anyway. Because you guys will understand that we've had a whole bunch of all the hurdles and hoops we jumped
I don't
through.
want to bring a truck though if it doesn't
Yeah,
run.
Chase doesn't want to have
That's
this truck
Nicholas
there.
shit.
No, but you could still. I think that no matter what, this truck should go there so you can just see the progress we've made. Chase thinks that it has to be complete to go there to show it off. So we have What do you guys think? If does it have to be actually 100% complete to go to Fully Charged, or do you think just showing the progress we've made so
She
far
has to move down
and the
the
hurdles
road.
we've
She's
had
gotta
to
move.
overcome?
She's
Like,
gotta move
We
down.
gotta move
I can
under
see
now.
the
I don't
point.
think so.
Like if maybe if the air conditioning unit isn't installed, it's not the end of the world.
The headline.
But
is
it
not
should
100%.
this thing should be moving, driving a functional truck. And
Like,
I am just scared about this because our headache rack is still not here, and it's gonna take. Once we hook it up, we've got to test everything out and make sure it's all working correctly. And I don't want to bring a truck if it's not 100% ready to go.
Everyone's saying bring it there regardless.
All right.
Here.
We
Okay.
have whoever
They
said
roll it down.
I know
Okay.
people
People
take
wait
the
for
truck no
this.
matter what. Bring what you bring.
Chase.
No, it should go no matter what. Like you guys would understand. If like say if, like the headache rack or the generator issues cause it's gonna be ready 2 weeks later. The truck's still gonna look the same. We should show off the progress of what.
I like
how it
these
has
guys say, set it up inside a tent. They can watch the live version of it being built.
Yeah,
Roll in with a
there
bunch
you
of
go.
toolbox.
Right?
Like, okay, day one of the show, we're still working on it to get it working for day two.
Vice Grip Garage.
Don't do that to me, man. I gotta work on this thing.
Honestly, that would be funny. Then, like, literally bring it to the fully because we're gonna be so down to the wire that
Yeah,
it will be within a day or two. Like, I can only imagine at the show and be like, "Oh, your truck's up on jacks, so you can show it off, right?" Yeah, definitely not because we're doing testing.
Chase's mom agrees with me.
A couple people have said like
Strack's in here. He's
between
agreeing with me.
Roadkill and Vice Grip Garage. So they're like, yeah, because Vice Grip Garage is a huge YouTuber and for like cars and stuff. But he did a show at a show and shine where he's building a car, And they're saying we should do something like that, or like a roadkill style, where we have a piece of plywood with everything we need to get done, and just cross it off one by one.
All right.
Which we pretty much already have.
I guess we could be hooking up the minor things and showing how, I guess
Yeah.
Shrek.
things like the heater unit, we could be running the heat conduit during the show and show that live version of the build, but
Just cussing, doing airlines.
yeah, that's the problem. I've heard how you guys talk when you work.
I don't know what you're talking about.
To Shrek and Grand Roofing Inc. Thank you guys for understanding. I know you guys want to see the truck. Me and Chase feel the same way about it. I know Theron and Dan feel differently. We don't want to pull a nickel on everyone. I appreciate that you guys understand that.
It wouldn't be a
Honestly.
Nikola. We wouldn't be pretending it was 100% finished. We'd be pretending that we're getting close and showing it as it is. Nikola pretended it was done and they rolled down the hill. We're like, doesn't work right now, but it's going to be ready soon.
that though.
Oh, feel okay. You know, I
Yeah,
understand
it would. I feel
Chase's.
like we're
starting to get
I
that.
understand
Temper the
Chase's
water.
point, but still.
Oh.
Okay, we got some things coming in here.
Zach, thanks for the beer, buddy. How will the AC work in the trucks? It's going to work, buddy. We're going to have AC. I like my creature
How's the
comfort.
AC work? It's just an electric pump.
Someone's ordering the tickets.
Oh, here's a beer.
Okay,
Thanks,
you're fully
Dexter. Can you
charged?
post a link to the show? You got to go to the fully charged website for the Vancouver show, and they gave Edison fans a 50% discount. The code is FC, as in Foxtrot Charlie 50. It gets you 50% off. the cost.
FIFTY.
FIFTY, yes. FC FIFTY FC 50 gives you 50% off your tickets. It's for Edison fans.
Do we have to pay for the tickets?
They'll probably make
Yeah,
it.
you have to, Dan.
Damn.
It doesn't apply to you.
Yee brothers.
Can't make it to the show, but Yu says good luck, guys. If you ever make it down to Iowa, he'll be there. Love seeing what you've been able to. Oh, thanks, Yi.
With,
Yeah,
a,
man.
with a very generous donation.
Wow, you give it $100. Holy jeez,
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
very
Thanks,
much.
Man, yeah.
And for the Americans, we do have a show down in Oregon at the end of September. Looks very, very likely. It's not 100%, but we got a show down in Oregon. It's Weyerhaeuser, the logging company, has a live logging display. So they're going to have feller bunchers working, processors working, skidders working. And with any luck, we will have the Edison truck out there to show off, driving around, giving some people some test rides. I mean, we only have one seat, so if it's a long lineup,
We have two.
We have two.
We have two.
I mean, one passenger seat. I'm not going to let two
Oh,
random
yeah.
ass people. All right, take our brand new truck, guys, that I've never seen
We've
before.
had a clarification.
True.
Okay, we have two seats, but I'm going to drive it, or Theron's going to be driving it. But we're going to take Carl down. We're going to take this truck down. So if there's any Americans around Oregon at the end of September, I think it's September 24th, that'll be our U.S. big show.
I think it's the National Logging Conference. Is that what it's called?
I don't know, something logging.
We've had a clarification for your question about the elevator. Roaring Big Block, I don't know if he said it a few times. Are you going to make an electric excavator?
Oh, that makes
See,
more sense.
I wear glasses now. Well, kind of. They're from the dollar store because I've turned 40 in a few months. I'm going blind.
We
Welcome
probably
to the
won't
club.
make an.
There's so much saturation in the market already with Komatsu and Caterpillar. And all that.
Let Robert drive. Famous last words. Whereabouts in Oregon? I don't know. I should ask more questions or remember more things. But it's somewhere in Oregon, and it's called something. So at some point, at the end of somewhere, we will be somewhere at Oregon at something doing things. So in Oregon, sometime, somewhere, at something, we'll be doing a thing.
End of September-ish.
We appreciate
Maybe.
we appreciate you guys
Maybe.
asking. Chase is just under a lot of stress. He has a lot of things to remember. So if he doesn't remember small details that are going to be more relevant later on, we apologize. We just have so much things to complete on the truck right now. So much
It's
the headache
chaos.
rack. It's chaos.
The
It's
live
pure
stream is
chaos.
chaos. The job is chaos. Everything is chaos.
Yeah, no, it's
Someone
I've got
should
to.
Google
There's
National
certain
Logging
things that I
Conference.
make brain
Watch
space
it, and then
for,
you'll figure it out.
and certain things I don't, and there's no rhyme or reason to why it is. But yes,
I don't have any.
I've got a note written down on my computer. We literally just had this
Okay.
meeting 3-4 days ago.
About the 3D printers, you can email myself and I'll pass it on accordingly. Is DTF@edisonmotors.ca.
Yep. Someone says, will the Edison Motors shopping cart be available for purchase?
No.
Absolutely not. Those things are a terrible
That is
idea.
fine,
Never should
baby.
be.
It's a liability.
That is a
not-
liability. Like, I'm not saying that we're afraid of lawsuits, but there is no way that you should ever take the Edison shopping cart in stores. But if you want to buy a kit to make your own, we could probably set that up. I don't
I'm
say
taking
you
that
should
into
do
installment.
it.
That video was
Yeah.
only for paid members. And
No, I made it public.
No, and then yesterday Chase is like, oh, let's just see how it does. And so he made it public. But before we decided, like, that is not
Okay.
suitable for
I'm
a
putting-
public
I'm
channel.
Dan was bored one day, and he was playing around on a Saturday, and he's like, you know what? We have to walk all our tools around the shop, and we have a dirt floor, and we have things over there and things over there. So we just took a couple of our axles out of a go-kart, put the throttle pedal in it, so we now have an off-road electric shopping cart that we use to ferry our shop supplies
I will
around.
take it to a grocery store if we get 4 likes on this.
Yeah.
No!
Ethan,
Let them influence it.
No,
Ethan says, and we talked about this on the last live, and it's kind of a cool concept. Ever considered an OTR truck? I'm a long haul driver, so it'd be pretty cool.
So with OTR trucks, we figured the best way, the biggest thing about OTR trucks is weight. You're gotta be light in the US, and OTR trucks are cookie cutter. Freightliner makes 100,000, 200,000 OTR trucks a year. They roll one off their production line like every 3 minutes. OTR trucks are at such a volume of scale that it's not like a Western Star 6900 XD. It's way cheaper, and everything is kind of made by robots on an assembly line. We can't compete at that volume of scale. There is no way that we can compete in that market for quite a while, like 5 years, 7 years it would take before we could compete in the OTR market for our own trucks. So what we're doing and is offering is that if you already have an OTR truck, we'll retrofit it. We'll drop those axles, we'll put E-axles in, we'll drop the driveline, put batteries, drop your transmission, put a generator. We'll retrofit an OTR truck, but we're not going to be able to build and design our own OTR truck until we can have a massive factory made where we're not bespoke building custom trucks.
The Gaming Man says, do you have any plans on coming down to the East Coast? He says down to the East Coast. So is he talking like
Well, down to America.
No, Newfoundland's always used stupid words for things.
yeah, let's
No,
go-
no, he's
yeah.
from-
Yeah, Newfoundland would absolutely be like, oh, when are you coming down to the East Coast there, boy?
Hey,
Yeah, you know what? Maybe someday we'll make her down to the East Coast there, boy.
Eric is in Ontario today, if that counts, but that's a little not quite coasty enough.
Oh, that was a cool job. Eric broke his hand, so we had to do a off-grid hybrid setup for an island off the coast in the Great Lakes in Ontario. So he had to load up. He flew out to Ontario. We shipped all of the hybrid power system supplies out there. He got a bunch of buddies from Ontario, and they took World War II landing crafts to a remote island off the Great Lakes to install a hybrid power system. And I was hoping that I could be there and this truck would be a lot farther done because that's a really cool project. But yeah,
I wanted to go too. Like imagine
we
getting
all
to go
wanted
on
to
that
be
trip and
there.
just like run around with a camera. Like damn. But
so we got one guy, our head electrical engineer, is off doing a power system out on the East Coast right now.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, Ontario is East Coast for a BC person.
I want to address one of the normal comments here. About the Edison Motors lawn tractors. We've had long discussions, and we realized that the Darwin Award concept for a electric go-kart, lawnmower, whatever, legally, no.
Don't tell them about the lawnmower. we
have you
had
watched
there.
us drive a shopping cart around?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
imagine
like,
it with blades.
We would love to do it, but we have so much pep and energy about what we would do to it to make it go real fast and a lot of fun.
Oh, speaking of those giant lawnmowers on a more serious note, N-Trek reached out to see if they could source some of our, not N-Trek, LTEC. They make a lot of forestry equipment, and they wanted to talk to us about doing a hybrid feller buncher. That's like a giant lawnmower for trees.
That's pretty sweet.
On
That's
the
cool.
lawnmower thing, to my buddy Gage, we do have a lawn tractor here, but we're not electric swapping it. Yeah.
Yeah.
BW, one of our members, says a vice grip idea. Do that with your pickup kit.
That would
Yeah.
be cool with Junkyard Resurrections.
Kevin Temer, paid comment. I think that's how you say it. Experienced from
Very
last minute
great
race
name,
prep. Or experience from last minute race prep. Focus on making it functional for the show. Don't worry about the little details. What is actually required to make a move, turn, and stop. Don't worry about the creature comforts.
Okay, that's a good point. Like I think in order to make the show, we'll focus on what it needs to work as a truck, be a bare bones truck, and we'll put the creature comforts in after the show. I think that sounds like a fair compromise.
But
really.
Chase, is the air conditioner gonna work?
No.
Like, that's a comment we get all the time. People are like, will it have like a fridge beside the seat that you can keep your food cold? Like, some of the guys were. It's a fully customizable truck.
I'll be honest. At this point, I wanted a beautiful, polished paint job where everything was completely polished. Everything, like, I was gonna get some pearl spec black flake to put in the frame rails, custom pearl spec fenders, like, just go absolutely show truck quality. And I have had to come to grips that this thing is not gonna look show truck quality. It's going to look bush truck quality.
Farmhands gave us $20 with no message, and then later realized you can leave a message. And he says, "Oops, didn't know the message thing worked, but get yourself some coffee and snacks. Love the work you do."
Ah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
There's
guys.
a Joe.
Verified.
Draining.
Man, we're not even verified. We're jealous here. He says, "What does something like a retrofit cost?"
That's a hard one to answer on a retrofit because it depends on the retrofit. I've said that so many times. Restoring up a 1950s needle nose Kenworth where we got to strip, sandblast, redo all the sheet metal is going to have a much different cost than retrofitting a 2020 truck. But realistically, a retrofit is going to cost about 75% of the new build right now. There's give or take, if everything is roughly ready to go, is we switch out all the most expensive components. The C15 leaves, the C9 goes in. So we replace the motor, the transmission, the rear ends, the add batteries. So we're replacing the main expensive components on a truck on a retrofit. So it's still going to be like 75% the cost of a new truck, depending. And it could, if your truck is in really, really good condition, price could come down. If it's in really, really poor condition, price could come up. But that's about where we're going to end up at.
Jack Cotter says, "Have you considered using a lever on the steering column for the variable regen braking, like the retarder lever on a Caterpillar mining truck?"
Yes, we are working on it. It's not going to be on this truck, but we are making a variable lever, like a decelerator pedal. Like, you know, on a Cat, like on a dozer, you have a decelerator pedal. We're going to put a decelerator pedal, and I'm thinking of putting that where you got the brake on your left foot, you could have a decelerator pedal. So when you're in a logging application, your left foot can work that decelerator while your right foot works the brake.
Zach Moonshower says, "Here's some beer." He gave us $10. He says, "Here's some beer tap. Do you think your system would work with skid steers and other smaller equipment lawnmowers?"
I mean, there's a lot of companies that already make it. The theory would work with them. We're not going to enter the equipment market or the small equipment market for a while. It should just be a whole other thing to add to engineering and product development. We're going to focus on semi-trucks. Then when we get this done, move into pickup truck retrofit kits before we would ever really consider anything like a skid steer.
Nate Jones says, "The electric shopping carts needs a hand throttle from a 48-volt electric forklift."
No, it doesn't. No. No, I get the advantage on why a hand throttle would be more advantageous on it, and it makes more sense. But it is way more fun to mash the throttle pedal with your foot, pull into a wheelie, and go ripping through the shop in a wheelie in a shopping cart.
I think it needs a wheelie bar. That's what it needs.
It does need a wheelie bar.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was
And
an idea.
the steering, I don't know, no one could really tell, but it's reversed. So you steer right to go left and left to go right, which was part of the reason why
Okay, we fixed that. The steering's the right way, but it got installed backwards somehow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know, Dan.
I don't
The
know
only
what
way
you're
to
talking
leave
about.
Costco
It definitely
is
wasn't
money.
built.
It wasn't built by.
Stalker 1 says, "Doggo?"
Doggo.
I'm not sure about that.
Bring the dog up. We're both dogs.
Oh, the dog, Jax, yeah.
Will batteries adding more weight? How does it affect the use of the truck? So, with our very first prototype, we actually lost weight. The weight reduction from the big C15 engine 3406 down to a 3306. You go from a 15-liter motor down to a 9-liter motor. That weight reduction lost in the generator actually more than offset the weight added in the batteries. Because remember, it's a hybrid. We don't need a giant, huge battery bank. We need just a tiny battery for peak load power demand, and the generator is mainly there for your base load. So we were able to downsize those batteries, so we lost weight. But here's the kicker. The government gives you an extra 3,500 pounds, 1,500 kgs in weight allowance by being electric. So not only did we gain 200 kgs in weight reduction, we added on 1,500 kgs. So we added on 1,800 kgs, or roughly about 4,500 pounds of extra payload over a normal diesel truck. So you can pack 4,500 pounds more with the hybrid truck than you can with the straight electric truck, or with the straight diesel truck.
Someone asked if we would consider retrofitting a pickup truck, and we're
Working on it.
working on it with a couple friends, and we're most likely going to go for an old school pickup, right?
A grand roofing. Oh, he said he got done doing dishes with his headset on. He's from Kokomo. He wanted to like a rendition of Kokomo. Take it fast and then I take it slow. That's where I want to go.
Taking the Beach Boys way
I wasn't planning on doing it, and then every time I hear that song.
I actually don't know that song. And
You haven't heard that?
no.
You know, fun thing about the Kokomo, it's not multiple places. It's like Aruga, Bahamas, come on, pretty mamas. I gotta go.
Okay,
Fatigo.
let's
Why
not
don't
get-
we go to the Jamaica?
Yeah.
But that's all one place. He's just narrowing it down by like country, city, state, municipality address to one specific Sandals resort. I don't know why I didn't know it was one specific resort.
It's all in the Bahamas?
Yeah, and it's Sandals, the resort company, paid for that song to get made about their specific resort.
Okay,
So
guys.
it's just an advertising piece, and I never knew that.
We got a drinking game for everybody. Drink every time Chase rants on Nicola. When Chase says, that's hard to answer, and when someone asks about the AC.
We're getting
Nice.
sloshed by 20
Yeah.
minutes into
No,
this.
we're not getting that drunk.
Oh
Getting
yeah.
sloshed.
Have you guys have any intent, willingness to sell some of the parts you're using? Willing to sell your battery boxes? Yes, we have said that. The parts, once we're done this truck, we verify that all the parts work exactly how we want the parts to work. We will be offering those parts directly for sale to the DIYers. Try at your own risk. And we've also talked to some people, they want to do retrofits, and they have a great shop, they're very talented, and they just want to do the retrofit themselves to save some money, so we're also working with deals with them. Okay, buy the parts, buy the kit, install it yourself, and we figured that depending the success of that model, that will allow us to go into more of a franchise model where we could have verified Edison franchise installers that could install the kits across North America. So we don't have to do them all in our shop right here. But that's, yes, we will just sell the parts. There'll be itemized part numbers. You can order a part. I want an axle for my truck. I know how to install the axle, do all the controls. Okay, well, here's the axle. Have at it.
Luckily, there's only
All right,
one.
so we got a PTO question. The PTO question always comes up, and it's always a great question. PTO is going to be ran off a separate electric motor depending on your use and what you spec out for your power rating. So if you need a 50 horsepower hydraulic application, you get the equivalent electric motor. It's what you spec out is what we will build. These are one-off trucks. These are vocational trucks. This is all to your specification, not ours. This is not something it's not a GM or a Ford or whatever. This is to your specs, to your needs.
I've said here, for the people asking about a hydraulic pump here we go. This is a hydraulic pump. Normally, it would be gear driven off something in your motor. So you would have something in your motor. This one in particular is a hydraulic power steering pump. It goes on the back of the air compressor. Same basic principle on a larger hydraulic pump. But essentially, instead of having it gear driven off the motor, what you do is you stick an electric motor on here, and the electric is your hydraulic pump. So that's all it is that instead of it being mechanically driven off the transmission or the engine, it's just driven off an electric motor. The advantage to this is that the electric motor is now on demand when you need it. You don't need to be spinning it, so it's like running live hydraulics all the time. Way more efficient, way more powerful, and way, way better reliability-wise.
It's hydraulic over electric, right? Is that what it is?
Electric over hydraulic.
Electric over hydraulic?
Yeah.
Electric is driving the
This would be
hydraulic.
the power steering pump.
Yeah, okay, and then the follow-up question that always comes is about the power steering pump. So Ray's over here on our parts shelf, and he's grabbing the power steering pump for yourself.
Part
Yeah.
shelf is definitely not just plywood board.
Okay, so a power steering pump is also essentially a hydraulic motor. This one's 4 kilowatts, 20 liters a minute. This is what's going to turn your tires. She's big. She's about 20. She is 25 kilos.
This is a purpose-built hydraulic pump, power steering pump for electric commercial trucks. So this is literally purpose-built for electric semi-trucks that we bought from a supplier. So there you go. There you go.
Skatus73 is asking for your pickup kit prototype. Would you consider trying to find an old International Harvester pickup to stay on brand with heavy trucks?
Oh, fun fact. Yeah, I mean, we could do either one. It's just swapping axles. But fun fact, my first car I ever owned was a 1969 International Harvester pickup truck, 1 ton. I love that old truck.
I miss my 86.
Why did you get rid of it? That's a sweet truck.
BW, one of our members, says, Chase, would you put a kit on a Hayes truck? There's one sitting for months near my work in the Edmonton area.
Yes,
think
I would
that'd be like
love
a
to
dream
do a
of Chase's.
Hayes.
That
Yes,
and our
yes.
headache rack.
Yeah, that'd be probably one of his preferred Pacific Hayes.
I love Hayes, Pacific, all fantastic trucks.
Would you go for like a classic white?
Yeah.
Theron sent the email. I actually got the email there, Joseph, so I'll check that out after. Thank you. I did see
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah. And if I do respond to you, it's probably going to go to your junk mail because I haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, a lot of our emails that we send people go to junk mail. We don't know why people get them in junk mail, but if you were expecting an email, sometimes it's in junk. I don't know what to say about it. It's for whatever reason, they see the Edison Motors from a company address and spam folders send it off to junk.
I like the Fargo trucks myself. I was going to look at one when I was younger. I should have bought
Fargos are
it.
sweet.
Yeah, we'll look at any of the old cool trucks for a first retrofit because it has to be a
100%.
sweet truck. I mean, it has to have the curves. It has to be sexy.
I like the old 50s trucks, like an old
Absolutely.
Dodge Power Wagon.
Ooh.
Like an old, post-World War II Dodge Power Wagon.
I'd
It's-
still always shoot. For
I had
the
a
Volvo
chance to
Sport.
pick up a '56 Fargo for $1,500 on propane.
Definitely
oh,
ignorant.
that's-
I was like 17 at the time. I should have done it.
Definitely ignorant must be new because he would like to know your thoughts on trucks and cars turning into things like phones where you don't own and can't tinker with, which is basically the
right to repair.
Yes, I absolutely hate the idea of my 2 biggest things are right to repair and no planned obsolescence. That is the entire ethos of Edison Motors. If you haven't missed it, is that nothing pisses me off more than $1,400 headlights, computer programs you can't work on, things that are designed to fail, things that are just purposely engineered to be convoluted, to make it harder to repair. And I was in a little rant on this earlier before I got interjected, but I think it's such a goddamn waste. We have such a high level of productivity that we have more and more automated productivity. We're building more shit every day now per hour of human capital than we have ever built in the past. And even just in pure volume, we're building so much shit, but our shit doesn't last. They used to make stuff back in the 40s that would last 20, 30 years. Now we make things that'll last 3 to 5 years. Well, what's the point of having all of this autonomous fucking work, having massive factories with automated things building shit as fast as they can, just have shit that breaks as fast as we can? How about we use all of that resource capital to putting it to things that actually make a fucking difference? Like, how about we take all of that automated stuff to a sweet-ass space program? We could be building fucking highways, high-speed rail. No, in this goddamn country, we don't build shit like high-speed rail because all our factories are making useless fucking junk that breaks 3 years after you build it, so they keep making more junk. Well, we could take those same iron factories, those same steel factories, put it into building new highways, put it into building new hospitals, more MRI machines, more X-ray machines, more hospital beds. Why are we building iPhone capacity actually have in this world? It makes me so goddamn angry that one of the core beliefs of Edison Motors is that I'm tired of it. I want to build a truck that's going to last for 30 to 40 years, not have to worry about it, so that we don't have to make more trucks and that excess resource capacity could go to build shit that we actually fucking need. Dear God.
Let's
You
try
wanna
not
talk
to
about
kill
your
Chase
dishwasher?
before the truck's built, please. Come on.
Sorry. So yeah, I stand. I really, I'm.
Look at the face of the dog. Look how sad
So
he is.
yes, we kind of stand against planned obsolescence, and we're very for right to repair. I think is where I was going with
Do
that.
you want to talk about
dog's
the dishwasher
concerned.
for a second?
No, I don't even want to talk about
What?
the dishwasher broke. 3-year-old dishwasher totally broke.
Oh.
Look at
It
that. My
doesn't close
grandparents
anymore. The door
My
doesn't
grandparents
close.
had a dishwasher that they bought in the 1950s, and they've had it all the way. I think they probably still have it. No, you buy a dishwasher now. 3 years later, a $3,000 dishwasher don't fucking work anymore. Oh, sorry, the warranty was only for 2 years. You got to buy a new one because a stupid little plastic latch broke. Well, make it a big slammy latch like you made in the 50s. It ain't gonna break. God damn it.
Zach Moonshower, to become a member, I don't know, it's like on our channel page, probably join or members, and then there's 3 different tiers, and pick your tier. If you get into the decision-making tier, it's a little bit more money. You get in a group chat with all of us. You talk to Chase daily, and we share insider information, kind of, and you get input, and some other things,
Yeah,
some
it's-
discounts. So that's how you get that. It's on our channel page, join membership for you guys.
Yeah. And sorry for the rant. I really do
People are
get
saying you
worked
should
up
make
over it.
short, for short.
It honestly, it makes me so mad that we waste so much production capacity to just build stuff that fails when we could take that production capacity and build things that work. I hope you guys agree with me, but like, come on. Instead of building trucks that only last for 4 years, let's make trucks that last 40 years so that same resources can go to make hospital beds, make highways, make bridges, make make housing, apartments, things that we can actually use instead of just lining corporate shareholder profit by constantly pumping out trucks. That is their entire belief behind Edison Motors. It is literally one of the core principles on why we started this company.
That's why I said you must be new here, because I seen that coming.
Yeah, I think we all see
Hey,
that.
Jeremy, we
He probably didn't
appreciate
get me
your
worked up.
$69.99. 69, great number, buddy.
Nice.
Nice. Really enjoy the
69
live,
was good,
guys. Trucks are coming along nicely. Put towards some door decals.
Door decals, yeah.
Oh, door decals, yeah, we're getting some door decals ordered. We just ordered those today.
Yeah.
Aaron Salmon
Will powered trailers be in the future from Edison Motors?
Yep, talking with a trailer company right now about doing a power trailer setup. Yeah, that's actually in the works. We just realized, we're like, oh, we can just put the electric axle in the trailer, run the electric lines back. We don't need the batteries or any other, the fancy control stuff in the trailer. Like FP Innovations that took 3-4 million. I'm not gonna get worked up.
Jeez.
So FP Innovations took $4 or $5 million in government grant funding to build a hybrid electric trailer, and where they take like a tiny battery bank, a tiny little electric motor, put it in a trailer, and then the truck is still diesel, but then you have a separate control unit in the truck to power your trailer for regen, power it for applying the power. But like $4 or $5 million of government money to build an electric trailer. We've already built the whole electric truck. We haven't taken any government money. We did it all for $1 million. How the hell are they spending $4 million just to build a trailer? The only reason they're doing it is because they told the government that it's going to cost $4 million, and the government said that sounds reasonable. Here's a check. So they basically wasted $3 million of taxpayer money that's probably going into somebody's pocket, because there's no way it cost them $3 million to build an electric trailer. We looked at our engineers and talked to a trailer manufacturer about how much it would have cost to build an electric trailer, and we figured it's like, oh yeah, we can build that for about $40,000. $40,000 is what it cost us to build an electric trailer. How the hell did it cost them $4 million? Something's fucked.
Oliver
Game-
fans like the rant.
Everyone is
Everyone
enjoying the
approves.
rant.
Game
Okay,
Farmer
I-
has
I
blood
feel-
pressure.
Sometimes I feel bad for the rant, because I'm like, okay, like I get so fucking worked up, but I'm glad
Well,
somebody's enjoying it at
Another
least.
comment is like, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's a little too real.
Yeah, some guy's like, I just started watching 45 seconds ago. Best 45 seconds of my day.
Game Farmer says, he said numerous times, that's why I have to get it out here, so he stops saying it.
Yeah.
Would you buy a Landau trailer?
I mean, yeah, we could do a Landau trailer.
Jim's video,
Landau
thanks for the
trailers
super
are
chat,
sweet.
buddy.
I still like a scissor neck over a Landau personally, but
Jim's video, if you hung out, he feels like your rants could be a little deliberate, possibly. But if you hang out with Chase, you know that this is like a daily, like a bi-hourly thing. Like you get a few rants a day hanging out with Chase like
Yeah.
this. You should have been here when we were on the headache rack not showing up.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't even mean on this.
I had to
just mean
apologize.
earlier to us.
I had to apologize to Dan for that one. I was getting a little heated.
That was bad.
I was mad. I was
Yeah.
mad.
It's
You spend $10,000 and then they just turn around and ship it out to a company for $2,000. Sorry. I have found that my rants have been getting worse the more I get into it.
Yes.
Because, and like people have noticed that, is that like as a truck driver, I used to get annoyed at things that weren't quite right in society, like planned obsolescence. But once I actually started this business and once I realized what was going on, and I've seen, like, I've been able to peek behind the curtain of a lot of these industries, see what's going on, and it's made me so much angrier. Like, yeah, from the outside, you're like, oh yeah, the trucks aren't more reliable. I've gone to the conferences at Victoria, the main trade shows. I've sat down at the tables with OEMs. I'm not going to name names, but they have literally talked about ways to make it less reliable and increase. They talk about increased profit, and you're like, it just behind the scenes has only made me so much angrier because it's so much worse than I thought it was before. And the thing is, like, yes, it's made me a little bit more stressed, a little bit more angrier, but it's given me a hell of a lot more motivation to build this truck right. Because if I've come to the realization that if we don't do this, nobody else will. And even if we're not successful, I hope to God that at least we are going to inspire some other people to pursue the same thing that we're doing. And like at the very least, if I can inspire somebody else to do this, it's going to make a difference because it's not good for society. It's not good for the environment to constantly build shit that we waste. It's not good for society to constantly be throwing out shit. It's not good for people to be locked into debt because they constantly need to replace all of their stuff because it keeps breaking. The only people it's good for is that 1% at the very, very top. So hopefully, like, somebody sees us doing this with trucks. Like, yes, if you say that an electric hybrid or a more reliable skid steer is the way to go, build your own skid steer. If you want to see a tractor, I hope I inspire somebody to start fighting against John Deere like Big Bud did by building the Big Buds. I'm hoping more people are going to start building shit that lasts a long time because I'm hoping that we can prove that we can make it happen. Like if we can actually build these trucks and sell these trucks and make a living to do this, starting from just working in a trade in Vancouver, driving a truck. I drove a truck. Dan worked as a mechanic at GM. Like, at a gravel pit, I think, too. I don't know where Dan
I worked
worked.
in a quarry, yeah.
A quarry. Yeah, if we can just take a bunch of guys like that, like we're not hedge funds, we're not large investors. If we can do it, hopefully somebody else can say, hey, I can probably make a tractor that's not going to break down on the average farmer, because farmers are getting screwed just as hard as trucking owner operators. No, you seriously, you look at a farmer and you look at a truck driver. Well, now a trucker used to be able to buy a truck and then you'd be like, oh yes, you run this truck for 5 years, the payments are made, and then you can start putting money away and saving. Nowadays, an owner-operator can't save any money because after 4 years, his repair bill is so goddamn high that his repair bill outweighs the payment, so now he needs to refinance a new truck, so he never gets that truck payment ahead. He never saves up. Farmers are the same way with their tractors. They buy a tractor for exorbitant amounts now, and after 4 years, 5 years, they got to buy a new tractor. Well, small family farmers can't afford to constantly keep mortgaging it. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but oh dear God, does it make me angry when you look at something and you're like, okay, we'll constantly be mortgaged, farmers. Mortgage a new tractor, put the farm on stake, get a new tractor. Well, they know eventually that there's going to be a bad crop year, a forest fire, a drought, something that's going to knock out that farmer's payment. Well, now the farmer never had a chance to buy farm equipment that's paid for. He always has a payment, so he has one bad year or 2 bad years in a row. It takes a family farm that was in somebody's family's generation for 4 or 5 generations, and because they couldn't get a reliable tractor and always had to have a finance, they missed those payments. The bank comes, takes it all, sends the farm off to a billion-dollar company that buys the land for pennies on the dollar that the farmer refused to buy. Like, dear God, somebody ought to do what we're doing with trucks. I really hope we inspire somebody else to do it with farming equipment because it goddamn well needs to be done.
Rating Canada says, and that passion is why I subscribed.
Fair enough.
That's true.
We've missed
Kyle
a few.
H, welcome to the Insider Club.
Nate Jones, thank you for becoming a key decision member.
Shrek's had his bought a house, and the AC is from 1981, and it still works, right?
Yeah,
Defiantly,
it just works. Just works back then.
Yep.
Old stuff just works. It's so stupid that our stuff works less.
have you
well
seen
than
like
it does.
the old commercial for the kitchen? I think it was the KitchenAid refrigerator.
Yeah.
More features. Back in the 50s.
Yeah,
The ones now.
they had rolling out shelves and like
Oh,
ice
You can
and
take
racks.
it out. You can put your produce in it. It's like a little luggage thing. It was freaking sweet. Like I wish we had
KitchenAid
it.
in the 50s was a whole different level.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, they're still like my grandma still. Well, she's dead now, but she had a bunch of things that were
I'm
like
sorry.
when she was alive.
You buy it once and it's done.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's beautiful. Let's see. Defiantly ignorant. My entire small town's infrastructure in northern BC is completely rotting away while I see this happening. Everyone knows almost nothing tangible is happening, so coming across this is great.
No, it's true. In Merritt, our infrastructure is goddamn eroding away. We had, what was it, 12 bridges washed out last year. 12 bridges washed out. 5 of them haven't even been replaced. Why the hell do we have factories building hundreds of thousands of trucks a day, but we don't build bridges? Like, our priorities are so screwed up. If we made a truck last 20 years instead of 4 or 5 years, we made a truck last 20 years, that would be 200,000 to 400,000 trucks. 400,000 trucks per year less that need to be made. And yes, the big OEMs are going to make less money. But you know what? I've been saying, how about instead of being an investor and a shareholder in the big truck company, invest in a bridge making company? Instead of worrying about extracting every last dollar out of this company, when you've hit your maximum productivity level, invest in a new thing. Invest in bridges. That's what makes a company great. Or makes a country great. It literally, that is what makes a country awesome, is that you build all the shit you need, and then you say, oh, we got a lot more factories. Those trucks we made aren't breaking down. Well, instead of making frame rails, I can make bridge girders. Okay, well, instead of frame rails, they're bridge girders. It's hardened steel. We're building a new thing. And then the government comes in and says, yes, we'll buy those bridges. Or a logging company says, well, we need bridges. We'll buy the bridges. The bridges come down in price, so you can build more bridges, which means you can access more timber. You can build a new mine because your infrastructure and the road building equipment. Now you're building more roads. Well, perfect. You're building more roads. Now you need more road building equipment, so it shifts from trucks being built every 4 years to building road equipment to build more roads, to build more mines, to build more things, and you grow. What are we growing as a country if we're just replacing the same truck every 4 or 5 years? Fuck.
Chat stalking. When do you think? When do
I
you
gotta get a
think
drink.
might start
They
working
actually-
with a driven? What are you doing?
I'm getting a drink.
Are you getting beers?
Yeah.
I'll take a beer.
I'll take it.
Well, I can't answer these as good as you. I'll get beers.
Well, you answer it.
All right. Okay, guys. If you're worried about Chase,
Yeah.
he went to a therapist yesterday. We realize he's getting high strung. Chase works fucking amazing under high pressure, though. That's like one of his abilities. So it's kind of a catch-22. Although he's probably like losing years of his life per minute of his rants.
Someone commented about that. Here's to all the success and Chase's blood pressure. It turns
Yeah.
all the way down.
He gets so productive. Like that's how you kind
Okay.
of get Chase to work.
To address the steer axles, we're hoping the next 6 trucks, one of them will have the steer axles with power.
A powered front axle.
We all want to build a 6x6 or an 8x8. All of us want to build that. So that's coming. We're hoping.
It's kind of what's available
It's
to us right now.
What our customers
Yeah.
want, the first 6 customers, it's what they want us to build is what we're going to build. It's when you come to us and when you want to buy a truck, it's what you want.
YT Entertainment asked, this is why I'm trying to trade my 17 WRX for an 80s Ford. Only advice I can give on that is stay away from 80 to 81 because they have the Swiss cheese frame rails. They just drill holes along the entire thing for weight reduction.
Member Bernie B. Alex points out, going to the town dump back in the 70s was an opportunity to get spare parts for projects.
Yeah.
When I was like, I don't know, around 10 or so, we used to just go to the dump and walk around and find stuff and take it home and smash glass light bulbs.
Oh, yeah. The
yeah.
fluorescent tubes and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you could find good stuff there. Now you'd probably like, I don't.
I don't
probably
know.
wouldn't
Yeah.
work.
You'd come back with some
Yeah.
kind of like life debilitating disease.
Devin Yanis, I got to get to BC and spend some time with spent some time. These are points that Chase is ranting about that I have for freaking years. New trucks, e-vlogs, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, buddy. Nate Jones. Hey, key decision maker.
Oh,
group.
you upgraded.
You upgraded. Thanks, buddy.
Nate Jones. Okay, so Nate just joined the Key Decision Makers, and that's on our YouTube members thing, and then you get benefits. Nate, I gotta tell you this. So now go down in the community tab and find the QR code that I posted for the group chat. Add me to WhatsApp. I will add you to the Decision Makers membership tier. Is there a link you could send me? I cannot find one. The join button to become a member. No, I don't know if there is a link. It just go to like our homepage, I think, or channel, and it should be maybe like in the menu where you maybe scroll over to the menu. It should say members, or it'll be up on our like display, but it should be a kind of top right kind of thing, and it'll say membership. It'll say membership up there. It'll probably be like videos and some other community tab, and I think it's to the right of the community tab, but it's up there.
Hey, you guys
Nice. Look at this. Okay,
cheers, buddy.
Chase, people are worried about you, but like we said, Chase has gone to a therapist and he's aware of this, and he's talking through his feelings. But it's like a catch-22 because Chase works way better when he's super stressed out.
I mean, I guess that's not untrue.
No,
Yeah.
that's pretty true. You work good under stress.
I think we all have. kicked
Stalker
ass.
says, "Here's to y'all's success and Chase's blood pressure. It's turtles all the way down. Try to relax and have fun shaking
Sturgill
out
Simpson
the
reference.
system." And
I
he gave
love
us
Sturgill.
$50.
Oh, thanks. Great Sturgill Simpson.
Gabe
I
Oppenheimer.
mean, what is that? That sounds like an Irish drinking proverb. May your stress and your success be equally as high.
Dude, there's been a few people talk about like drinking games, like whenever Chase removes his hat and runs his hands.
We lost our Wi-Fi there for a second. Sorry, we're on Starlink.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We pissed Daddy
Definitely
Pete
ignorant
on off.
says there are big industrial projects happening here. Oh, there it goes. Here they're going to build some bridges. Then take them down when they're done. Quite literally, bridges being built for 2 to 4 years are a thing now.
Coca-Cola
Yeah.
Highway in a
And
nutshell.
taking multiple years
Why
to
don't you
build.
elaborate on just the price of what it costs to build the Coca-Cola and how long it took for them to
dear
build it,
God.
and now like how long has it cost for them
no.
to replace
Oh,
four bridges?
okay.
You guys want to get on? Tell me. Right on
Okay,
this?
no. So remember I was talking about the bridges.
Hold on to your
Deep
blood
breath
pressure.
first.
No, I'm gonna no. I'll,
Deep breath first.
I'll keep her calm. I'll keep
say
her
that
calm.
every time.
Yeah, I say that every time I do. But no, so when they built the Coca-Cola Highway, they built the entire Coca-Cola Highway in about 2 years. 2 years for a cost of $900 million. That means every single bridge, rock cut, grade, ditch, paving, 2 years for $900 million. Well, about 2 years ago, we had a big flood. It washed out a bunch of bridges. It's been 2 years, and they still don't have 4 bridges repaired, but the cost of the reconstruction is at $4 billion. 4 goddamn times the amount, same time frame, they still don't have 4 bridges done out of the 10 bridges that they had to do. Like, are you shitting my dick? Like, well, no.
That's your expression.
Chase, come on. There's people with 3-year-olds watching.
Right. But we're gonna
Oh,
piss
wait.
Bob off. Bob's
Oh, yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
super
Bob's gonna be angry.
Bob's
yeah.
angry.
Fuck Bob.
But no,
You might
fair
know
enough.
that now.
But no, I just think that's ridiculous now. That how come in 1984 we could build the entire highway in 2 years for 800 million, 900 million. That's inflationary adjusted, by the way. How did we able to do that back then for this? But we're 4 times the cost and we can't even build the bridges in the same time. The bridge foundation and the roads are already there. All they had to do was bring the bridge in, drop the bridge in, leave. How come my dad and my grandpa back in 1984 could get it done in 2 years? Now, all the equipment has gotten bigger. The trucks have gotten bigger. The excavators, the cranes, everything has gotten bigger. Everything has gotten more efficient. Do you have a question, Dan?
No, I have a reason. Safety and engineering.
No, it's not even safety.
No.
It's not even safety.
You
No,
wouldn't say the safety. And
No,
engineering?
No,
Yeah,
I was working on the Trans Mountain Pipeline.
The safety and engineering would be a problem.
It definitely adds to it, the
Okay.
red tape and stuff, but
but it doesn't
Yeah.
add safety. Take this
There's
for
actually-
example.
Okay.
Oh, I got a good example for safety.
Okay,
Wait,
go.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Go for
an
it.
example for safety is after I was working on the Trans Mountain Pipeline. There with all the increased safety and extra spending, there was more injuries this time than the last time.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So, inflationary adjusted, they built the Trans Mountain Pipeline in 1953 in 15 months, from land clearing to flowing oil, in 15 months for an inflationary adjusted value of $1 billion. Right now, today, and keep in mind, excavators did not exist in 1953. They were straight up doing it with bulldozers and cable excavators, like a big cable shovel, like you would see with a steam shovel. That's what they used in 1953. For $1 billion, they got it done in 15 months. We're going on to year 8 of this project at $23 billion. And they're saying, oh, well, it's safety. Safety's much better now. They've had 7 fatalities in 1953 when they didn't even have a ROPS cage. Seat belts weren't invented. There was no rollover cage. They had 3 fatalities. So, at a cost of 23 times more, at 4 times longer, and at 3 times the level of fatalities of 1953 is what it costs to do a pipeline nowadays. You can't tell me that that isn't money laundering. And for the Americans that don't know, because the Canadians probably know this, the government decided that they were going to pay the cost of this pipeline. So the government stepped in, and old Daddy Trudeau said, here's a blank check, build the pipeline, and suddenly, if the government writes a blank check, well, now you can build a pipeline cost $23 billion instead of $1 billion. I am a firm believer that if our dozers got bigger, like the biggest dozer you could buy back in the day was like equivalent of a D6 now. Now that we have excavators, now that we have big dozers, now that we have big cranes, now that we have 600 horsepower trucks that can move 150,000 pounds of load, how the hell do we increase the time frame by a factor of 8 and a cost of 23? The equipment has gotten bigger, it's gotten more expensive, more people are getting killed. What the hell is this? This is not progress. We are going ass goddamn backwards.
Well, look at us.
Someone says excavators did exist in 1950, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, they were the cable ones.
I thought they had the cable blocks.
Well, they weren't very.
Yeah.
I don't
they
think
were
the
cable
hydraulic.
ones.
Well, Cat didn't have their first hydraulic excavator to 1963. That's when Cat filed their patent for the hydraulic excavator.
Well, look at us compared.
Oh, Letourneau might have had something. I bet our James Letourneau would have had something. That guy was wicked smart.
Zach Moonshower
Zach
joined the decision.
Moonshower, key decision maker. Thank you for figuring it out, bud. Welcome.
Yeah, so you figured it out, and now you have to add me on WhatsApp, and I'll add you to the group.
Well, Chase,
Look
look at other trucks building their trucks. They're taking billions of dollars. And
Somebody explain to me.
Edison Motors for life.
Yo, Edison
Yeah.
Motors for life. We've had that one a couple
Yeah.
times there, but we believe that too.
But everyone's building trucks nowadays, electric or diesel, for billions of dollars for years on end. And we're like the 53 pipeline. We've built this for as much as we have in 1 year.
Well, that's why I'm okay, that's actually, Dan made a fantastic point. Like,
That's,
Good job, Dan.
That's the best way to
It
say
happened
it.
once a day. Now we're going to get rid of them.
but no, it's a good point, is that we built this truck like we were building a pipeline back in the 1950s. A group of
Safety's
small
about the
guys,
same.
like we have 8 guys that work here full time, just hammered down, drove this thing through, started putting in these bolts with pure anger and beer, and it got shit done.
Blitzkrieg.
We blitzkrieg these bolts in there, and we blitzkrieg this truck through. That's probably not the appropriate reference, but like, there's something to be said. It's why these large companies, these massive multi-billion-dollar companies, to develop something like this, spend $2-3 billion. They're spending 30 times more than we are in their R&D, and they're not getting as far as we are, and they're taking way longer because they believe in this notion the same way that Kiewit is doing the highway reconstruction, the same reason that Kiewit is doing the pipeline. Man, Kiewit is not winning. They're doing both those projects.
Yeah, they're a big problem.
They got big money and big lawyers.
Joseph just joined.
No, Madman Stream said, here in Calgary, we've been working on a bridge project
Yes.
for 12 years now.
Yes.
And we still have years to go.
It's
What
stupid.
the
It's
fuck is
yes,
going on
right?
with that?
The Stony Trail took forever to bloody make.
Yes, in
Yes.
Calgary, I know the bridge you're talking about?
Yes.
12 years to build a goddamn bridge?
And it's ongoing.
Ongoing
If
still.
They're still putting pipes in.
If you want to look at an interesting historical fact, in 1942, they built the Alaska Highway from Fort St. John to fucking Fairbanks, Alaska in 6 months.
Well,
The
there's-
entire highway from
Yeah.
Fort St. John, 2,000 miles through the Arctic wilderness in 6 months. But nowadays, we can't build a bridge in Calgary for less than in under 12 years. That is just so full of just pure embezzlement and corruption. It's the only answer that I have for that.
As
We need to make a correction or a clarification for Primu, who, because I think how you just spoke there or misspoke, he said he can't support any company that hammers through builds assisted by beer. We
Oh,
don't
well.
drink during work.
We don't drink during work, but
Yeah,
after
but-
work,
After work, we'll have some
after
beers.
work so we're now doing these lives, but after work, we like to blow off steam at the end of the day. Most of the guys from the shop hang around the shop. We do have a few beers. We brainstorm ideas. What's tomorrow's day gonna look like? So yes, this truck is not built while drinking.
There's no beers being drunken during
No,
work
absolutely
hours.
not.
No, in fact,
Absolutely
you'll get canned if you do that.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to drink at work. But after work, we have a few beers, and
Or
that
coffee.
beery brainstorming absolutely hammers a truck through.
or lots of coffee.
Coffee, yeah,
coffee
a ton
too.
of coffee during work hours. This truck is built off of caffeine and pure determination.
The coffee for the cruise, that does go to the production of the
He
work
sent me.
time hours.
He sent me a good photo recently where it's a blue collar guy and with enough caffeine and anger, anything is possible.
With caffeine.
We need to-
That's
well-
how they built the pipeline. That's how they built the Alaska Highway. Just pure caffeine and anger.
Yes.
Like that Alaska Highway was built by a bunch of pissed off rednecks that were angry at the Japanese. And they're like, you know what? We're blowing this 2,000 miles through the Arctic tundra. I'm getting this highway done. Feel like I should be home in 6 months, honey.
Yeah.
To
We
Mad
gotta
Man's
welcome
Street,
Joseph.
I'm
Joseph
from
is now
Alberta,
a key
so I
decision
get it.
maker, and then
Oh,
Messino-
Google Pacific Truck Auction. Kiewit selling their 1980. I shouldn't be reading this up.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys ignore this.
Yeah, ignore it, but yeah, thanks
Yeah.
Burnaby for
Yeah,
that
thanks,
Pacific.
Burnaby.
Although the only thing is the 1988 Pacific one is the International cab.
Oh.
So that cab is when International had it. So that cab is not a Pacific cab, it's an International cab. But keep in mind though, International still made a good truck. It's still a good Pacific. Personally, I like the Pacific design cab. If you look at the 1973 cab versus the 88 cab, the 77 cab, this 1970s cab had a much cleaner look, in my opinion. Now, a little bit less plasticky. But the 88 Pacific is still a damn good Pacific. I probably won't go for the International cab myself. If it was a 73 Pacific, I absolutely would have been bidding on that auction. You know, I can't resist that. But if you do get it, make sure you get in contact with Larry from Pacific Trucks. He'll provide you with all the anything you need for that Pacific. He's fantastic.
Zach Moonshower, our newest decision maker. There is another step if you want to. If you go to your community post, go down, find my QR code for WhatsApp. If you add me, I'll add you to a group chat with the rest of the decision makers and Chase and myself, and then you get a little bit of insider information. And you get a chat with us throughout the day.
Yeah, there's somehow that Theron sets it up that we have a group chat where we do talk about the important behind the scenes decisions on Edison. We should actually get an NDA for that group chat. Yeah, we really should. We got to work on an NDA for the group chat.
Yeah.
Gabe Oppenheimer, do y'all know about Lightship? Oh, did we
Never
already
heard
do that?
about. No, I never heard about Lightship.
They're a Silicon Valley startup that's making electrical-driven camper trailers with you kind of said that earlier.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we never really.
I've
touched
never
that.
heard of
I've
them.
never heard of it either.
I'm down.
Will look into it.
That sounds like something I would be interested in. Like I'd love to have one.
To the point of the guy who's saying the bridge from Calgary, last month actually they started doing more work on 9th Avenue because that's the main bridge that you're talking about, I think. Hopefully they get it done because I'd like to go to Southeast Calgary sometime. But you can't get through 9th Avenue because the bridge is fucking demolished.
It's like the freaking goddamn where they're building that thing through the kicking horse.
Oh god.
Why the hell has that been a 10-year / $14 billion whatever it is?
Because it's been out as long as I've lived in BC. Kicking horse has been a problem, and that's been at least 12 years.
We got another new decision maker, Kevin. the Charm, and he's joined now, and he just sent me a message. I see your message. I'll add you and set you up after this. So thank you for joining.
Isn't there a pair of the Army Corps of Engineers beer? Yeah.
What?
You know what? Honestly, can we please bring back, like, I'm not American. If I was, and I was ever to run for president, my entire thing would be bring back the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yes.
Holy shit!
They still have them.
No, but bring them back to be like, you know what? When they went in the 1950s and they're like, you know what? We need a massive interstate system. They reached out to the Army Corps of Engineers. They're like, we need an interstate system, and we need 5 years to connect every major city with a 4-lane concrete interstate.
Yeah.
The Army Corps of Engineers said, yeah, no problem. We just got done kicking the Germans' ass. This will be a breeze. You know how many ships that we landed in Normandy? I got to work domestically.
Eisenhower did that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
worked out perfectly.
Like,
yeah.
hey, we need a hydroelectric dam. The Army Corps of Engineers, yep, hydroelectric dam is going to be built in 3 years.
I missed the comment. But
Chase, keep your damn hat off.
Yeah,
Sorry, I get worked up and I don't know why I do it.
I guarantee you, Eisenhower went like this to the Army Corps engineer. You're about to mark upon a great crusade. Building an interstate.
We embark upon the great crusade to build a giant electric hydro dam. You will do it like you were fighting Germany.
100%, that's how we did it.
100%, and they got things done. We need to bring back the Army Corps of Engineers. God damn it, they built some cool shit.
Grand roofing.
Grand roofing.
He's the
Key
new
decision
decision maker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Good to have you on the decision group,
It was
buddy.
Tank It Down that said, Chase, keep your hat on. That was hilarious. We all saw that at the same time.
I mean, I got a bad habit of taking the hat off. I don't know why. I take my hat off.
You can get those hats at our merch store.
I
so he
I
bends.
figure
He sucks in air and then it comes out here.
I
so
get
he
so
needs to
goddamn
breathe.
hot. I need to cool off. Apparently.
Someone commented, yeah, the Army Corps engineers stopped Niagara Falls, and this was back when they did scientific surveying, and they actually stopped the water. They stopped the entire fucking.
They stopped Niagara Falls. Meanwhile, they're like, oh, privatization is so much better because we can have Hewitt sucking government until like, oh, we'll just give billions of dollars to these already rich billionaires because for some reason privatization is a lot better than hiring a bunch of, like, I'm a firm believer that it seems to be that if you get a bunch of U.S. Army soldiers loaded up on caffeine and you say, build me I took my hat off again.
Yes.
Build me a highway 3,000 miles through the electric,
New addict. You have to drink.
Build me a highway 3,000 miles. A U.S. soldier will get it done. I have no reason whatsoever why they think that hiring a private business to build major infrastructure could possibly be better than a U.S. soldier.
You gotta go get the.
Like, tell me why we can't use our soldiers. Same thing. Why can't we use Canadian soldiers? What the hell is the Canadian Army doing? Let's get a bunch of pissed off Canadian soldiers and a bunch of D8 cats and say, hey, if the Canadian government's going to pay for a pipeline, let's get a bunch of Canadian soldiers and a bunch of excavators, a bunch of dozers, just get them soldiers out there ripping a path through the Canadian wilderness. They'll get it done. They'll get it done for 1/10 of the cost in 1/10 of the time, and it's going to save a lot of taxpayer money. We don't need to privatize everything. Let's just invest in soldiers, give it to a bunch of Army soldiers from the Canadian Armed Forces, and see what happens.
And if they argue, it builds character.
And it's a great way. Like, you're already spending a lot of the money. So rather than spending it for a...
Oh.
I almost
I'm
did
waiting
it. I
to
almost
drink.
did it. I almost did.
Oh, that's right. It's when Chase takes off his hat, we drink.
I
Sorry.
can't not do it.
coffee.
Yeah, no, it's just, come on. Our soldiers are incredibly talented. Our soldiers are some of the most patriotic people that we can possibly have that want to support this country. And if you tell them that, hey, right now we don't have a lot of domestic threats because we're Canada.
Weren't you in the military?
Speaking of that,
Weren't you in the army? Canadian Army?
Yeah, I was in the reserves.
You were in
speaking
the
of that,
Oh,
Chase,
I'm surprised they let us into China with you going in the reserves because they don't let.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
they do.
has
Yeah,
a funny
exactly.
story
No,
about
it's
the
no
reserve.
problem. You just got to...
Actually, I don't know if you can tell.
someone commented, didn't think there was a Canadian military. Pretty sure they would just shoot the enemy and apologize. You ever heard about grenades and like food?
Okay,
It's American
First
history.
and
War
Second
1914.
War, Canada was responsible for the Geneva Convention being rewritten twice. Because it's not a crime the first time you do it.
That's
we had it
yes,
rewritten twice because of us. You piss us off, we ain't friendly.
Canadians. Oh, hold on. What about Leo Majors? Leo Major. This guy got so pissed off because he was sent on a recon expedition.
Well, his friend died, and then he
Yes.
took the entire fucking...
Yes, and basically they're like, hey, can you recon this town for us there, Leo? And just see how many Germans are in it. They were doing a recon. His buddy got killed by the Germans. He's like, you know what? Screw these Germans. He grabbed a bunch of machine guns, ran through town, created such a ruckus that one Canadian, single-handedly caused the entire German army to rout out of the city. There was such a commotion that they thought the entire Allied army was invading their town, that the Germans surrendered to one guy. When he went back, when Leo Major, this random-ass Canadian, came back, he came with like, what, 100 German POWs that he's marching back?
Yes. POWs.
I don't even know.
Times.
Oh,
Yes,
multiple
he took
times.
SS headquarters.
yes.
Multiple
Yes.
times through the night, he took relief in residence.
And walked
People
them like
gave him
40
cover.
miles to the brigade.
But the point is, can we just get a bunch of Canadian soldiers like Leo Major and be like, hey guys, just so you know, we don't really have a target for you to unrelease that Canadian anger on, like, and don't get me wrong, Canadians are really nice, they're really friendly, but there's a lot of pent-up things on there that they'll do. But so, let's just take all of those soldiers, same as US soldiers, maybe we don't need a war that lasts 20, 30 years, let's just take those soldiers in peacetime, and instead of just having them do things, get them to do training drills like, hey, build a goddamn highway, hey, build a bunch of tunnels, hey, Army Corps of Engineers, build things that help the country. Because I don't think Hewitt's doing a damn good job because they're wasting billions of dollars for no reason.
Yeah.
We should turn the
Leo Major went back when he was about in his 80s, I believe it was.
Love me some Leo Major.
Didn't
He
go
was
on a D-Day with
welcomed
bagpipes
as
and
a
crossbow?
hero
No,
to
that
that
was
town.
when
It's a
British
Dutch
guy.
town. I'm not going to butcher its name because I respect them for their love for this one man. He saved their town from artillery, from street to street fighting.
Well, yeah,
Great
he
Canadian.
only had one eye while he was
And-
doing it.
Yes.
After he came back, he became a plumber. His
Oh, yeah.
story is so fascinating. He's a
didn't
humble
even know
man,
about him.
worthy of
No,
respect.
he doesn't like talking about the war. He doesn't like
He
his
passed
medals.
away.
He rejected some of the medals like a couple
Monty.
He-
Montgomery tried to give him a
Montgomery,
medal, and he did not respect the British General Montgomery,
He told Montgomery.
and told him to
fuck
pound
off.
sand. His second time, he got the Victoria Cross. At the time, not the new Canadian Victoria Cross, but the British one. He accepted it the second time because the first time he told Montgomery to go pound sand because he didn't respect him as a general.
He was this guy. Alec was literally saying that he was talking about the Canadian military building the pipeline, building our infrastructure. Let's use our military to build things that our country needs.
Yeah.
Our military are some of the most patriotic, most hardworking people we possibly have, and we are squandering them if we don't get them to build infrastructure. I'm a firm believer that let's use our most patriotic people to build the country into the best country it can be, and then if there's extra resources required, then bring in the private guys to support that Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell did we go from building trucks to restructuring the Army Corps of Engineers? I don't know, but this is
Hewitt's a waste of money. The second the Portman Bridge was finished, Flatiron, who put up, I think it was about 80% of the bond for that project, immediately went to court to try to get their bond free because they knew Hewitt would screw them over royally.
Allegedly.
Because
Hewitt's got big lawyers. We got to be real careful.
Yeah.
I only say
Alleged-
Hewitt because they were both on the jobs on the town and tying into the example.
Allegedly happened.
Hewitt,
I-
Flatiron immediately pulled
Oh
out.
yeah, we got to get back on. Edison
Okay,
stuff.
Okay,
back on that.
Yes,
definitely
Edison.
ignorant. Welcome to the decision group. Text DOT agrees that we do need an NDA for the decision makers since we're getting more members.
Absolutely. It's a
And
right
then we can
below
be more
the
open to
directors.
share things.
Yeah, that.
How's our headache rack doing? You're tracking that for us. Text
Yeah,
DOT.
text. Please let us know where that headache rack is.
you got 'em
Please
going
tell me
again.
it's in Edmonton and on its way.
Zach Moonshiner, I didn't think you got a
you take us
30
from
pack out of me trying to figure out the technology. Thank you. We spent like 160 bucks on beers today.
He has my phone, yeah. Here, Chase, you got two phones. I'm going
We
to go take a piss.
got-
And we're going to go have a fag.
We're gonna have a.
more.
Wait, you guys are both taking a piss together? No,
No,
I
come
gotta
on.
hold
He's
it.
got a small
Jesus,
phone.
just go.
Someone should go fire the barbecue up because we got burgers to cook here. We should maybe get
burgers?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got burgers tonight.
Chase's mom took burgers out for us. So
I love my mom.
maybe we'll give her another 5 minutes here. That's a pretty long one.
Yeah,
anyway.
probably 5 minutes. By the time these guys are done keying together.
YouTube, Nate, I got your text there from WhatsApp, and it's a civil. We're gonna move past all our history chat.
Yeah. Civil Corps of Engineers.
Guys, you have 5 minutes to hit us with more questions.
For where the software for your truck require binary blobs. I'm not sure what those are, or NDAs to access. Wow, Messino, that was way too much technical abbreviations for a bunch of truckers. Sorry.
Grand Roofing, we're in Pacific Standard Time. Is that how you say it?
Oh, Texas says that our headache rack is still sitting in Nisku.
Oh, listen. So
But at least, hopefully it's left the roofing place it's at. At least it's in Nisku. It's within 12 hours of us. It's about 7:30 here, so we start work at about 5:30 in the morning to escape the heat. And so I'm kind of hungry. I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of pissed off. But we'll answer a few more questions, and then I got to...
Grand Roofing, when I add you to the chat there, don't worry, because we turn our notification. Chase never has notifications on.
I still haven't received my second round shares. What do I do with that?
So you can message anytime. And we have people from Australia, all sorts of different time zones all around the world. Shares.
So, the shares, a lot got sent to junk mail. Message Eric Little. You'll see his Eric thing if you need a copy of your shares or you need proof that you invested. Everyone's registered. We send everything, so that Westinghouse order number is your actual shareholder number. That's your number you need. If you want an actual confirmation or a double check, email Eric. He'll get back to you within a day or two. Roughly.
Zach, I got your WhatsApp. I can't do it right now, but I'll add you new decision makers to the group chat later.
Could you add floater tires? Yes, we can add floater tires to our truck. Would love to. Absolutely.
That's right. Info on the truck show in Vancouver. It's the fully charged show, September 8th, 9th, 10th. I forget where in Vancouver.
I like to say it's right next to the World Trade Centers. Vancouver. It's right next to the Vancouver World Trade Center, September 9th to 11th. So remember that. World Trade Center, September 9/11. Don't forget that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a real thing. That's a thing. September 9th.
It's crazy.
And yeah, anyway.
No disrespect, man.
No, that's just just
a way to
come on.
remember.
How did nobody put that one together when you were hosting the show?
There's a 50% code for anyone just joining now. It's FCFIFTY on the fully charged website, and you get 50% off for your tickets. BW is in Nisku. You can drive by and check them out if you want.
Yeah, I'll let you know when the thing there. We can go check on the
What
headache rack.
address
Make
is
sure
it?
he's there.
I don't know. I think BW might have joined
He'll go
the
find it.
decision makers.
Yeah, he's in the decision maker. So the
I haven't
live,
added him yet.
the
I don't
live
think.
tracking of this truck from the shady company is in the decision maker. So there's a live feed on where the hell our headache rack is in the decision maker.
Decision
group.
makers have the tracking link, and we might have to repost it for the new ones, but you can track the progress of the headache rack.
Drinking game chase hat off. Sorry, I took the hat off again.
Oh, really? Damn.
No,
You guys got to keep track of that. That should be a new thing. I'm down with that.
So, yeah, that basically... So, before we go, we'll sum up the day. We're waiting on the headache rack. Flowdraulic has... Actually, they've been so supportive with us with the delays. They're going to send an extra 2 guys out to help us finish this truck that'll work in this shop for the last 2-3 weeks of August to help us make sure we make the show. The rest of the truck updates, we got the electric rad cooling in, so the electric vehicle part of the radiator is installed. We got all the holes drilled out for the 5th wheel. We got the low bed ramps made. The air tanks are mounted. All the battery box components are all painted. We're just waiting for the adapter assembly for the generator before we can install that. That should be here next week. Fuel tanks are in. Rear window is in on the truck.
I filmed Chase today, and I'll put the video out in the next couple days of sitting in the office, and we show the website of the shipping company. We show the website, I think the website of the company that's actually shipping it, that they handed it off to. So if you guys are welcome to go to their reviews and leave shitty reviews for them, because fuck those guys. And if you read the other reviews, it's all their drivers saying how they don't pay, they have no money, they don't.
Yeah, when the video comes up, we say who they are. Let's go leave a bunch of negative reviews
Yeah, like you guys are
for pawning off our load on a cheap rate carrier like that. Just go leave a bunch of, leave some reviews. Screw them. I want to make sure that other people know not to use these guys over what we did.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's good. The
All
barbecue's
right,
on.
we better go have some burgers. And these guys are taking a long time to take a leak, so I'm gonna go start the burgers. But anyways, guys, thanks for joining the live. We're gonna try and do these a lot more regularly. And basically, these lives are you're joining our after work beers for the boys session. This is what we do once we're done turning wrenches and we want to blow off some steam. We get some burgers ready to go. We have a few beers in the shop once we're done for the day. And you're kind of getting those real-time rants as we do them. So thanks for tuning in. We'll try and make it a little bit more regular.
We're going to try it Monday and Thursday or Monday and Wednesday. That's kind of the thing we're going to try and do. However it works out. But those are days I should be out here to help out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. How do I end the thing?
Let's see how we do this.
Can't,
Who's
no.
ending it?
You'd think I'd figure this out.